content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you.
What's good, everybody? I'm GG, man. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up with no chasers, man. What's cracking with y'all, man? What's cracking, man? How y'all doing out there, man? Before I get things started, man, I want to give a shout out to all the haters out there, man. I hope y'all passing a good afternoon, man. What's cracking with y'all out there, man? And if you're just not coming in, man, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the Green Gorilla channel, go ahead and subscribe, man. And hit the bell notification button so you can stay abreast of what's cracking here on the channel, man. And like I always do before I get things started, man, I want to make sure that I give a shout out to all the members of the Green Gorilla channel. So that's the roll call. And after I get rid of that, we're going to get back to the business, baby. Anyway, man, shout out to Broken Blade, Mr. King, Black Men Being Brutally Honest, Larry R, Seth Sun 7, Michael Ross, Divine Love Ridge, Afro Troop TV, and Show Me. Big up to y'all, man. Big up to Brotherly Love, J. Cleveland Green, Rais Muajid, Spain Man, Lee Ways, Ben Cannon, Seven Coast Dojo, Apex Prowler, Anthony Davis, and I'm Just Jules. Big up to y'all, man. Big up to Blacksword 404, and Honest Look, Sherlin Woe, Ricky Dawson, Stefan, Julius Ferguson, Lord Hamal, True 7360, Mr. Me Too, and Call for President. Big up. Big up to Superman's Cape, Gold Professor, AKs and Curtains, H-Town, Roguish the Buildmonger, BD Main, Adrian Thomas, Electrician 480, Binger, and Cutting Up with the Jones. Big up to y'all, man. Big up to Zanco 1, D. Scott, Path Guy, Pete Rock, Aaron Peters, Barnolas, Dardar, Vincent Lindsay, and Beautiful Trauma. Big up. Big up to Quiz the Poet, Black Wizard, ADOS, Jazztech, Shadow Observer, Sugar T, Artisan MC, Kyle J. Sura, Kareem, Troy Warren, and Mrs. KP Bailey. Big up. Big up to Alan Wiley, The Face, Life of Commerce, Dream Lit, A. Wilson's Ghost, Timothy Blewett, Jeffrey Speed, Marvin Battle Jr., and Adam. Big up. Big up to BGS Ibmore, Ignatz Mouse, Brian Peaks, Papa Didas, Scott Haywood, Blacku Uru, Dr. Tree 33, Leroy Honeycutt, 77 Bass X, and Brian McMurray. Big up. Big up to Karen S, Charles Rogers, Rick Ross, Sandra Jean, Charles Gilmore, Greg Berry Little, Mr. Valentino, Cameron 87, and Dr. Rock. What's cracking? Big up to Mark Swift, Odd Collar, Donna Watts, Coach Hotep, Old Soul Chief, Mr. Blue Collar, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Mr. Heat, and Sir Anthony. Big up. Big up to MLR, Universal 178, Rasheed Barnes, Emma Smith, DH, Red Pill Revelator, Aaron Infinite, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Kalon Jakala, Hostile ADEP, and WPR1. Big up. I can't forget the brethren in heaven, Forrest Windu, David Carroll, and Kevin Samuels, man. Big up to all them, man. On the Patreon side, I'd like to give a shout out to Chris Flowers, Christopher Burton, Daxby, J Live, Rashawn Phillips, Keith Bass, Nick, Albert C., Dr. Ben Vincent, J. Cleveland Green, I'm the Light of My Father, Waffle Weave, Tyrone Hampton, Darnell Smith, Excalibur, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Dragon 59, J. Bailey, Mr. Michi Mo Mal, and the same. Well, big up to all of y'all, man. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for supporting the Green Gorilla channel on an ongoing basis. All y'all deserve a round of applause for the cause. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate you helping you support, and dealing with the GG, man, the Green Gorilla, the G with the PhD, man. I'm a little bit rambunctious sometimes, man, a little bit profane and vulgar and a little off kilter, but thank you so much for supporting the channel on an ongoing basis. And if you also are inquiring about how you can support the Green Gorilla channel on an ongoing basis like all of the members I just shouted out, man, here's how you do it, and we'll be back with the business. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser. Today I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless. All right, y'all, man, I'm back. I'm GG. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. This is a little bit last minute type joint. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really planning on doing it. I did plan on doing it actually, but you know, it's still kind of last minute because I didn't post it for a very long time. You know, but I brought a friend of mine along, man. You know, for all intents and purposes, we gonna call him Loco. What's cracking with you over there?
And how's everything, brother? How's everything? All praises due to Allah, brother.
Hey, man, all is well, man. Everything is good over here, man. You know, I'm feeling a little under the weather, man. I got a little bit of a sore throat and seems like a little earache popping up, man. But other than that, I'm good, man. Ain't nothing really to complain about for real, bro.
Yes, sir. You gonna get it together? You get some vitamins, brother.
Man, dude, I'm taking vitamins. I'm taking fish oil and you know, one a day, and you know, also, you know, I'm working out, you know, regularly. So, you know, it ain't like I'm sedentary. You know how the bros is, man.
Unfortunately,
you gotta get up and get out and get something. Got to keep, you know, yourself in fighting trim. You know how it is, bro.
Yeah, fighting trim, brother. Yes, sir. Fighting trim. Yes, sir.
So anyway, man, this is one of my frat brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? So he is not a member of the Manosphere. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's just a regular old dude, man, you know what I'm saying? But he's not a regular old dude. He ain't no GDI, what we call in the Greek world a goddamn individual. But you know, he's you know, he's one of my frat brothers, man, a good dude, man. Always been a good dude.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. You too, brother. You too. You know, you're an excellent brother. You know, you my friend and my brother, man.
For sure, man. You know how it is, man. Excalibur say get some organic vitamins. Shout out to Leon 0080 says he used to ride that bus, not because I was special. It was because of alternative school. I hear you, bro. Shout out to Leon. It's called Short Bus Saturday, man. You know, that's what I call it, man. Short Bus Saturday, bro. You know. But you also, man, are a police officer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm in law enforcement. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know, when I first contacted you, you know, I called you up and the first thing I said was, "What's up with these bitch ass cat ass niggas, man?"
Yes, you did.
I called him up and I said, well, what's up with these cat ass bitch ass niggas, man? These bros, because let's be honest here. You know, we got to be forthcoming. 3 of the guys involved in the indictment related to the murder of Tyree Nichols were members of our fraternity.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, but they've been expelled subsequently
from
the fraternity.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, they were members of our fraternity. And so, you know, I called you up and I was like, what's up with these bitch ass motherfucking dudes? You know,
yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Getting at this guy over some pussy. Did I not say that?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And, you know, we had a conversation about it. I mean, it wasn't very long, but it was long enough, you know, to basically draw out the point, man, that, you know, that shit is not to be tolerated, man. Like, one of the things I would never do is if, oh, damn, he went, I don't know, he dropped out for a minute, man. Let's see if he comes back real quick. But one of the things I would never do is, you know, I would never, you there with me?
Yeah, I'm still here, brother.
Yeah, if you drop out, just continue to come back in, because you know
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Works. So what I was trying to say to you was, one of the things I would never do is get mad at another man for some shit that my lady is doing. Freely, of her own free will and volition. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he coerced her, like if the dude was some sort of creep and was stalking her, or that he assaulted her, that's a whole nother matter altogether. You understand what I'm saying? But if my wife or my girlfriend is busting it wide open, that's on her. He fell out again, man. He gonna have to, you know, I don't know, man. He's on his phone, so he's never done this before. So let's see if he can find his way back in. Hold on. Work out these technical difficulties really quick, man. Hold on. Hold on.
Man, this shit just went out, dude.
Yeah, I know. Just disconnect and try to connect back in, cause
okay, yes, sir. I'm gonna do that right now, bro.
All
right.
We saw about the technical difficulties. You know, he's never done this before, so it is what it is, man. We trying to work the kinks out. Probably should have registered with each other, man, and been on for about 30 minutes before everything started. But, you know, it is what it is, man. He'll be back. But I don't think that it should be the business of a man to be mad at another man as opposed to his woman or his lady. He more than likely, I think he might be on cellular data, but I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I can't be sure if he's on Wi-Fi or cellular, man. I cannot say. But shout out to y'all out there, man. Shout out to I'm Listening. Shout out to Excalibur. Shout out to Spain, man. Samata 66, Troy West, J. Cleveland Green. Shout out to D. Scott. You know, I already gave a shout out to Leon 8 for the super chat. Shout out to Prince Zachariah, Beautiful Trauma. Also, shout out to BGS Ibmore if you're still out there. Shout out to Seth's son, John Jones. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. And I'm Listening. Shout out to him as well, man. So I'm just trying to get old boy back on deck, man. Hope it doesn't take too much longer for him to get his shit together, man. But if he doesn't get it together, I'm gonna move on and proceed, because I got a whole bunch of shorts to show. Got a few shorts to show. But let's give it a minute and see if he able to find his way back in. He's trying to connect, but his device won't connect. He's trying to connect, but his device won't connect. You know, man, look, Amiri is not going to pop in, bro. I guarantee you Amiri's not going to pop in. I guarantee you, man, that dude is not about to pop up right now. He, you know. But you never know with Amiri, though, man. You know, you never know. But my whole thing, he said, did the officer have a kid by the woman? That's the going narrative. The going story is that officer had a kid by that woman, and that officer took pictures of Tyree Nichols and sent it to a few people. And, you know, the gossip is that he sent the pictures actually to the woman, you know, to his baby's mother, of Tyree Nichols being beat up, which to me is some super duper cat shit. It's lame as hell. I would never get mad at a guy when, you know, my wife voluntarily gave up the ass or something like that. Like, or if we broke up and she was fucking somebody else, you know, you can't be mad at that guy, man. You can be mad at your wife, or you can be mad at your girl, or you can be mad at whoever it is. But you can't be mad at the guy, especially if the guy has no friendship bonds, no kinship ties, no nothing with you personally. You know, you can't be mad at a guy. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? So can't be mad at that dude, man. Let's see if my frat brother, man, comes back. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He ain't even tried to come back on. Let me see, man. Oh man, he might be on the phone. Some shit. Ain't no telling what's going on with this shit. Yeah, he must be having some technical difficulties or some shit. But anyway, man, I'm gonna before I start showing any of these clips, man. So I laid that out there, man, in case any of y'all want to come up, because it don't seem like old boy able to get his shit together, man. I'm gonna at least need more than likely one guy to help me walk through this, but because I intended to do it, because I know what my opinions are on the shorts that I have, but I might need somebody else to bounce some ideas off of and some conversation off of. But I really wanted to talk to him, my frat brother. Here we go, man. I really wanted to talk to him.
I'm back, brother. I'm back. I'm sorry about that, brother.
Okay. Yeah, it's all to the good. And you might want to make sure, like, you're on Wi-Fi in your house, if you at your house. And then also, you might want to turn off the incoming calls. Because
I did, bro. I did all that shit, bro.
Okay. You know how shit gets, man. You know how things
Yes, sir.
Man. But at any rate, man, what was your opinion about that shit, man, when you first found out it was the bros, and then not only that you heard it could have been over a woman? What were your ideas and your thoughts about that shit?
You said when I found out they were bros, or did I about the whole thing? The whole thing in general.
Okay, let's start with the whole thing in general, then move towards the bros, then move towards the whole idea that it might have been over a woman.
Okay, well, I was getting ready to go to work. And my lady was here with me, and she wanted to watch it. So I said I really didn't want to watch it. So she was like, "Look, you need to see this." And I was like, "Maybe you're right." So I started watching it, and I was like, "This is bad. This is real bad." At first I was like, the first video I was like, but then the second video came, I was like, nah, that ain't.
What do you mean by like what does that mean?
The first video?
Yeah.
The first video definitely wasn't as bad as the second video in my opinion. I mean, you could somewhat, and I'm stressed, somewhat explain some of that stuff. The thing about it is, man, you talking to somebody who's been in law enforcement for a long time. I don't even remember the last time I've had an encounter where I've had to pull somebody out of the car, yank them out the car, all that kind of stuff. I just assume let them drive off. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Hold on, man.
I'm serious. I just assume, let them drive off, brother. It's not that serious to me to where I have to put hands on people and all that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
What one of the reasons is you've been in law enforcement for over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like
yes, sir.
You ain't been in law enforcement for like only 3 years or 5 years, or you've been in the game for like some longer than some people. Some of damn near adults have been living on this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I have definitely longer than those guys.
Yeah, so to me, I think it might be a function of their unit in general. Like we call guys who do this kind of shit that they look like they were doing. Like, first of all, they were in a unit called the Scorpion Unit. Okay, and I guess it's some sort of tactical anti-drug unit or some kind of force like that. I don't know exactly, but in St. Louis, we would call them the hop out boys. Boys, guys, in the police force who they hop out on miscellaneous persons, in order to make sure that they don't,
Sure.
have guns or drugs.
I've been privy to that. Yeah, I've been privy to that. Yes, sir.
So I mean, but what do you think of that? What do you think of that kind of policing, though? Like, do you think that kind
Well,
of policing
okay. So that kind of policing, man, is, in my opinion, is needed. The problem with it is it's needed with, number one, with experience, and number two, with supervision. Whenever I did that kind of stuff, my sergeant was in the car with me. You understand what I'm saying? My sergeant was in the car with me. He was, he was right there with us. We had been on for I had been on for maybe 7, 8 years when I was doing it. So I had a little tenure underneath my belt. So, I had been around in the streets. I had gotten to know people. I didn't have to do that. I could hop out on people and be like, hey, yo, where's such and such, man, such and such over here, but don't tell them I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't tell them I told you. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to do all that, because what happens is you develop relationships as best as you can. And the only way you develop relationships in the best as you can is through communication, talking, and through time. When you have 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, even 5 years, when you have that, there's no way you can develop those kind of relationships with that kind of time on. It's very hard to do that unless you're from that area. Now, the flip side of that is, what people don't understand, departments are getting younger and younger and younger and younger. And I was having a conversation yesterday at training with a sergeant. Most departments are getting younger and they hurting for people, right? And how do you market this job, especially with situations this? How do you market this to people? How do you market this to anybody? How do you market, all this crazy stuff you got to go through, the stress, the psychological, the psychological effects, you might going through a divorce, you having problems at home with your kids. How do you market this? There's no way to market it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excusing the brother's behavior. I'm not doing that. But, I just don't think that. I think supervision has something to do with it, and definitely experience has something to do with lack thereof.
Right. Like, in my opinion, first of all, I know that everybody's overzealous to make an arrest, and, I know the guy ran for it or whatever the case may be. And, subsequently, the second encounter was when the worst of what happened to Tyree Nichols occurred. And then one could argue, everybody's pumped up with adrenaline and, they're ready to subdue this guy. But my question is, over what? Like, what was the original, point of contact, or the reason? Damn, he went off again. But what's the point? What's the reason for contact with this guy in the first place? Like, what is the fucking point? A traffic violation, man? Come on, man. Oh, let's see if we can get him back here. Here he comes.
Now I'm back. Yeah. What you say?
Yeah.
You say, what was the original point of contact?
Yeah. Well, okay. So
according to them, it was speeding, but that was never proven.
Yeah. So, but look, even if a motherfucker speeding, I've never had an encounter with the police if I was speeding, where the police jumped out on me. Hey, stop it! Don't you move! Shake down! Get your hands in the air! Like, for a traffic violation?
Well, I mean, could it be something more to the story? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It looked like something else was going on that we don't know.
Dog. The story is, one of the police was fucking around with some chick. Okay? The story is that he knew that the dude was fucking with his chick, so he decided to shake this motherfucker down and used an excuse to shake him down, and after he whipped his ass, took a picture, sent it back to the chick in order to let her know we whipped his ass. And then he got other guys on the force, his partners or whatever, people who serve with him, to participate in that fuckery.
And that's the lack of experience I'm talking about. Who the hell would who? Okay,
Bruh,
number one, you're dealing, but you're dealing. But brother, you're dealing with a different type of Negro now. Like you dealing with and the reason I say Negro is just you just dealing with a different type of Negro. We are so uh social media, cell phone driven, and everybody's got to be involved, and everything is quick, fast, in a hurry, man. And it's all the way down. It's all the way down to shit. It's all the way down to our police departments too. It's a wick. It's when I saw it, it looked. I didn't want to use the word personal, or should I use the word personal?
use it, man. I mean, bruh, you look. First of all, for anybody just not joining the conversation, this is my frat brother, man. For all intents and purposes, right now we call him Loco. Been a member of the police force for over 20 years. Okay, he's a frat brother of mine. I brought him in to have a conversation about this. Now we might not be in total agreement, but he has over 20 plus years experience in the police force. I don't. He knows what people in the police force go through on a daily basis. I don't. Okay? Now, this is my frat brother. He knows already that I've been in trouble with the law before.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But he still has respect for me and shit like that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got love for you, brother. I got love for you, brother.
He knows my true character. You know what I'm saying? And police are not in the, business of being judges anyway. It's not what they supposed to do. Okay?
Right.
So, I mean, all they supposed to do is execute the law and then put people in jail so that they can then be judged and then be assessed about whether or not they're going to be punished for whatever it is they were arrested for. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
They're not supposed to offer any assessments of people's character. I mean, although you can't really actually do your job without, to some degree, having an assessment of, you can't be a human being without assessing people's character on an ongoing basis. But that's neither here nor there, bro. Okay? My thing is, bro, I'm saying my experience, and I've had fucked up experience with police before. Okay? Mm-hmm. But like the overzealousness related to this traffic shit, like, come on, man, like 4 or 5 cars coming out, surrounding you, get the fuck out of the car, get your hands up, and all this kind of shit, like, like over some speeding.
Well, the first thing I just want to tell you is that usually when you pull a car over, they're gonna call another car for backup. Okay, that's just routine. I would tell people don't take it personal, but it looks worse. It looks and feels worse than what it is. Okay, all we there to do is, because like I said, bro, we don't know. We pulling somebody over, assuming the attract. Let's assume in this particular scenario that the traffic violation is legit. Their plates aren't good, or they're or whatever they did. This assume, and once again for the audience, let's assume the traffic violation is a valid traffic violation, and you pulling them over. And what you don't want to do in your major metropolitan cities is pull a car over by yourself. You either want to have a partner or another car coming. Okay, it's not like highway patrol where your backup is 2 miles down the highway or 1 mile down the highway. You're in a major metropolitan city. If they call another car there, that's for backup. Okay, that's to ensure the safety of the officer. Okay, that's what that's for. And I know it feels messed up for the person. Why we need all these cars? Why we need this? I see how that looks, but please, it's don't try not to take it as personal. Try not to take it as personal as you could be taking it. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing when you're in these units, though, when you're in these specialized units, they're being put under a lot of scrutiny under the some of the supervisors, some of the lieutenants, sometimes even under the citizens. They're being put under a lot of pressure to bring them make a difference. Some would say bring in numbers, bring in arrests. Now, that's that situation. This particular situation that we're talking about here, for me, when I first saw it, I'm like, what, something. Now, more is coming out now. I'm finding out more about with the text messages and the pictures and the young one of the officers' ex girl might have worked with the brother at FedEx or something. All this stuff is. I know the pictures are confirmed. Whether he was messing with the young lady's girl, that hasn't been confirmed, but it looked personal. It looked very, very personal to me. It looked very personal. That's why I looked at it and I just turned my head. And then I looked at it. When I tell you I looked at it for a couple of minutes, and then my lady cut it off because I was getting ready to go. She didn't want to watch it anymore. She cut it off. And so I just said it just looked so personal.
That's crazy, man. Like, why would she want to watch the shit? Why would like if you ain't fucking around in that type of industry, why you want to see that? Like, I call that shit blackmail death porn, man. That's what I call it.
What?
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Like, it's no different than lynching, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like, and then the public likes to create spectacles centered around black men being more slaughtered. We like that.
Yeah.
Whether we're slaughtering each other or, or having conversations about how we'll fuck each other up, or white people stringing us up and hanging us and shit like that. That's an American pastime.
That's true. That's very true.
Whether we contribute towards it or whether it's something that other people are doing to us, we do that.
That's true.
Look, I can show you better than I can tell you. Hold on. I can show you better than I can tell you. Sometimes my shit don't, man, want to act right, man, but it's gonna act right. I'm demanding it to act right. You see all them white folks right there?
Yeah, around that hanging body, brother.
You know what they out there for?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know what they out there for, brother.
You know what they out there for, bro. You know what I'm saying? They ain't out there just to,
Where's the little white girl smiling?
Man, they out there for a reason, bro. Hold on, let me, this thing, man. Sometimes they want to act like right, but sometimes it don't, man. Hold on, I'm gonna make it act right.
They got one right thing, brother. Have you seen the one where the young what is it? Dr. Joy DeGroy breaks it down, where she sees the little girl smiling.
Oh yeah, but I mean, look, that's one of them smiling right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like it ain't like this ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Like, and white women being participants in it, they part of it, and black women sometimes are often part of it too. You know what I'm saying? So, that's this whole idea that they ain't never been down with the cause, like they down with it too. The white women down with the program too.
Oh, so, well,
but I mean, like all I'm saying is stringing a Negro up, hanging them dry, that ain't nothing new.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I mean? It's nothing new.
Yes, sir.
So having said all that, bro, all I'm trying to say is, I get the picture, man. You watched it, your lady watched it, y'all got tired, it looked too familiar, it looked like it was personal.
To me, it looked like it was personal. And I had a conversation with her right after that, and she pointed it out to me. She was like, well, damn, they guilty already? They didn't do the other officers like that. She was like,
because they black as opposed to white.
Yes, she was like, damn. I mean, I know what I'm looking at. She acknowledged what she looked at, and I said, I'm happy you observed that. you well, we were on the same accord with that. I said, well, yeah, they're already they done. They're done. This stuff is on camera. The stuff is on their body cam. They're done. But she said how the media was saying, well, before it's all, well, let's wait till all the evidence comes in. Let's wait till all this comes in. Let's wait. Let's not rush to judgment. Let's not, all that kind of stuff. All that came in. And then she pointed it out. She was like, nah, wait, it ain't like that with them. You know what I'm saying? She immediately went there. She's like, she didn't like how the officers handled themselves, but she was like, the media finna have a ball with these dudes. Well, and they got it coming.
Yeah, but the question is, like, why not Darren Seals immediately, or why not
that's yes, that was her question,
Wilson, or whatever the case may be. Like,
that was her question. That was her question. Why not? Why not the officer that killed the brother in Minnesota? Why not the officers that did the thing to Mike Brown, that did the thing in Chicago, on and on and on. The dude that shot the brother, the officer that shot the brother in South Carolina. That was on camera.
One of the people in the chat says, remember, black police officers weren't allowed to have firearms first.
Well, let me put that in context. I'm happy they said that. Let me put that in context. There was a desk clerk when I first came on, and he was a police officer. He had retired. He couldn't even go south of Delmar. Okay,
white people area.
Yes, my another one. My father was one of the first black sergeants in the South. In the South, and this was 1984, 83. So one thing I recognize the history of what's going on in police departments across the nation. I've had calls where people be like, I don't want no black officer. I want a white one.
Damn.
Yeah.
White people or black people?
Both. You say what now?
Whites or blacks or both?
No, they don't want. Oh, I don't want no black officer.
I'm saying, is that white people making the request?
Oh yeah,
black
absolutely
making the request, or both?
No. Most of the time, it's white people. But I've had some black folks say that because I didn't agree with them. I didn't agree with what they had going on, and I want a white officer. They'll say it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's happened to me. But most of my experiences have been with the white population. They'll say I want a black. So my sergeant got on the air. The sergeant got on the mic. He said there's no such thing as a white or black, police officer. Tell her there's only blue ones. So she gonna get what she gonna get, which really didn't help the situation, But it is what it is.
So another statement one of the people in the chat said is because there's two sets of rules for blacks and whites as it pertains to police.
Yes, I'm happy they said that also. Yes, absolutely. I can speak to that. When you or different styles of policing. See, brother, you know where we from, right? You can't police up north how you police down south. Okay.
When you refer to up north and down south, what are you talking about? You talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about casus. You yes. You can't police like you police on Kasu, like you police on Sublet.
Yeah, well, I'm from Kasuf, so
I know.
and that's one of the most fucked up areas in the city.
Right, right. So you can't police, because, and the white officers will tell you that. Don't you bring that down south stuff up here. Don't bring it. Don't bring it up here. You got to have you a gift of gab. You'll get ate alive up here. They'll make you walk it how you talk it. You know what I'm saying?
He's talking about the north side, is what he's
The
saying.
north side, yeah. They'll make you walk it how you talk it. Don't bring that. We gonna lock up these, this, that, and the other. You said don't bring that up here. He told a couple of his friends, don't bring it up here. They'll beat your ass up here. And then, but you can't bring north side down there because you'll try to defuse a situation with your mouth as opposed to with your brawn, for lack of a better word. You'll try to diffuse the situation with your brawn and try to send people to step away, and they'll be like, nope, I want to report, I want them locked up, I want this, I want that. And a lot of times it doesn't take that. All it takes is everybody just separating for the night. You go here, you go there. Ma'am, I'll take you somewhere. Sir, I'll take you somewhere. Y'all talk this over in the morning when y'all cooler heads and the liquor or whatever y'all doing cool off.
So you sound like you're talking about a domestic dispute.
Exactly. In this particular, you talk about domestic dispute. If you going in there for that type thing, if you going in there for that type thing, you cannot go. You ain't finna go up in a house on the 4400 block of Redbud thinking you gonna run their house. No, it's not happening. You better come up in there like you got some sense. And that's just that. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I get that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a different type of vibration when you go to white areas as opposed to a black area. Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it. You got to police a little bit differently.
Yes, sir.
I get it. But however, how about this though? We already know the white people, they use about the same amount of drugs or more than black people do. We already know that.
Absolutely.
Okay? We already know that, like, when it comes to dealing drugs, white people deal drugs more often than black people deal drugs.
Absolutely.
Okay. When it comes to arrest and incarceration rates for blacks versus whites related to drugs, and that's the primary form of, arrest and incarceration for black folks, drug arrest and drug crimes. Okay, now that might be subsiding some because of the changes in the law, but like especially during the 2000s, like the late 90s, the early 2000s.
Absolutely,
that was the primary form of arrest, and the primary form of surveillance. It was centered around drug arrest. But one has to ask the question, like, why such super vigilance being imposed upon black folks as opposed to white folks? Because you can find this shit everywhere. Like, you can find it at Washington University in St. Louis. You can find it at St. Louis University in St. Louis. Dope, I mean, okay? Whatever type of dope you're looking for.
Yes, sir.
But why was there so much focus about what was going on in the hood as opposed to what was going on, say, for example, in Webster Groves or in Creve Coeur or, say, for example, in Clayton or Ladue?
Okay. Okay. Well, you have to look at. Let's look at it from the outside looking in. And what I try to do is take my heart out of it and put my head into it. You have to look at it kind of mathematically. I don't know of anybody who look like anybody in Wester Groves or Creve Coeur, that people who look like those in Creve Coeur and most of the people in Wester Groves, those were the ones that were making the laws. Okay. And it was easy for them to, because the drugs were affecting them, right? They were affecting them more or less the same way emotionally, because their kids, their kids were dying of overdoses too. But they were the ones that were making the laws. So if you think about it like that, and what would happen was they would be like, well, they're getting it from down there off of Farland. They're getting it off of Farland. So who stays on the 4400 block of Farland? Who stays on the 5800 block of Wabata? Who stays on the 5000 block of Maple? Okay, nobody that looks like anybody. I guarantee most of the people that stay on the 5000 block of Maple now, I can guarantee it, brother. They didn't look like the people who are made those unjust laws that they're now repealing.
Let me pump the brakes. I got to push back on that.
Push back.
Right. Okay, but we're gonna get this another 10 to 15 minutes, then we're gonna move on to something else, and then
yes, sir.
Because I want you to see some other things. You being a member, not of the manosphere, but a member of society in general, whatever the case may be. You're a married man, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So you might have
I'm divorced. I'm divorced.
Okay. My bad.
That's okay.
I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know, dog.
I told you, bro. I told you. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but so the whole thing I'm trying to explain is basically this, bro. White folks, man, for real, man. A few white boys might come get their dope from Negroes, man, but for the most part, man, and by and large, man, white folks ain't copping no dope from black boys, man.
Ooh.
For the most part, if you want your drugs, if you're white, you live from Creve Coeur, dude, I sold dope. You already know this, bro.
Yes.
But I didn't have a whole bunch of white motherfuckers clientele, bro.
But that's not the perception. The reality and the perception are two different things. The perception was they was getting it from. The perception was they was getting it from there. Yes, the perception was they was getting it from black folks when they knew they weren't getting it from. They were getting it from other people in Creve Coeur.
Of course.
Okay, so what I'm saying is the perception was they was getting it from Kasu. They were getting it from Cole Brilliant. That was the perception, and what happened was a lot of their children would tell them just like, oh, daddy, he raped me when he really didn't rape her. Okay. And then next thing you know, Emmett Till comes up and he looking like the way he looked when that really didn't happen. That really didn't happen. Nothing like that. They lied. They gave a false perception. They gave a false reality, brother.
So offer us up like it's like a white woman who claiming that she got raped by a black man, but she killed the kids and shit. He abducted my kids.
Yes, sir. It's the same thing. It's when you caught, you're gonna say, I got it from Cavity. Oh man, I got it from Euclid. Okay, that's what they're gonna say. But really, they don't want to get their own friends because they don't want to get their own friends in trouble because they daddies also made the laws.
Right. So it's you snitching on the niggas is basically what it is.
Exactly. This is and that's what we think. Our people think so. We think chess, but don't we think chess? We think checkers, but definitely don't think chess. We think checkers so quick. We just check it, get it. We don't think past. We don't think past our world, our immediate reality. You have to think. You have to think that this stuff that happened to Emmett Till. It happened to Emmett Till, but it happened in so many situations. There are so many Emmett Tills out there that didn't end like Emmett Till, as bad as Emmett Till, peace be upon the brother. But it's a lot of situations where these kids got caught. They daddies and mamas were in power, and they were like, we're gonna change, we're gonna make these laws, and we're gonna do this, that, and the other, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna put these people in jail, and we're gonna do this, that, and the other. We gonna make 2 pieces of crack rock. You get what, 10 years? You get 5 years per rock and all kinds of other stuff, but you get some powder cocaine and you get probation.
Yeah, like a half a key or some shit.
Yeah. So,
you know what I'm saying? But you got like a little under a zip. 5 grams is 5 years, and
yes, sir.
That's what it was in the hood.
Yes,
you know
sir.
What I'm saying? So it
yes, sir.
changed. It's changed now.
Yes, sir.
But but at the end of the day, I just think here's another thing that I think. I think that black people. And this might be, you might take offense to it, but
sure.
I've always been a thinker and a philosopher, or whatever the case may be. I don't care about how I offend people when I make my arguments and present my points. You know what I'm saying?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, audience. No, he doesn't. Absolutely doesn't.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if the bros get mad at what I'm saying. I mean, if it's based on truth, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I carry that lamp, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Dodge and needs a centipede, you feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, black people, just because they occupy a position doesn't mean that they're changing the system and making it more fair and more just. Like just because you got a lot of black people in the police force doesn't mean that you've ended racist policing. Because black people can pick up the same kind of practices as white folks, even better than white folks.
Absolutely.
And one of my analogies is like, okay, you had slave drivers that was black. And they could do their job better than any white boy could.
Overseers were black.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my whole thing is, just because you put a black face in a white space, it doesn't mean that you got justice there. But increasingly in this culture, I think that what people have a tendency to desire is representation and tokenism. And they think that by doing that they're going to get like different results. So like the idea is of, okay, we got more black police officers. We got more black chief of police. We have more black officers, not regular officers, but like, members of the higher echelon of officers and shit, sergeants and above. Then all of a sudden we're going to have like a profound impact and difference. We get black politicians, there's going to be a difference. And my viewpoint on it is, if you didn't change the system, plugging black people into that same system is not going to change anything.
Yeah, you said about a million things in about 2 or 3 sentences. Okay, and the thing that I think we forgetting is what the changing of not changing, but a person's heart. You judge a person by their heart and their mind. Okay, if your intentions are to come in here and lock up whoever and do this, that, and the other, and you get in here with the so-called good old boy system, and you think you're better than the people that you police. That's where it takes the changing of the heart. You understand what I'm saying? It takes a pure heart and a pure mind. I'm sorry, pure heart and a pure mind. My father, when I first got my badge, and it broke my heart, brother, it really did. When I first got my badge, and I walked off the stage. Now, mind you, my father was a police officer too. I walked off the stage. He said, "Come here," and I said, "Yes." He said, "Congratulations, you ain't nothing but a nigga with a badge."
Right.
So, and I think you've met my father. So you know how he said, "Congratulations, you ain't nothing but a nigga with a badge." You know how that broke my heart? Because he told me, he said, so I was like, Dad. He says, no, your people not gonna like you. The public not gonna like you. The other cultures that are on the police department is not gonna like you. You're gonna be hated all the way around. You're on an island by yourself. Don't think you're gonna come out here and change nothing. Don't think you're gonna come out here and make nothing better. Go out here, do your job, be fair. Be fair. You treat people how you want to be treated, and you treat people the best way that you can. Whatever that situation whatever that situation hands you, you give it back to it tenfold. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You understand. So when my father told me that, my father basically humbled me. At that particular point, I thought I was gonna be out there and just gonna be pull over this bit, but before I even stepped foot into a police car, he humbled me. You ain't nothing but a nigga with a badge. Everybody's gonna see you like that. So when you police, remember that you ain't no better than the people out there than you are policing. You ain't better than them. You just got a different chosen way of life than them. You ain't no better than them.
I just know this, man. Police officers are human beings as well. The motherfuckers,
yes, sir.
they got arguments with their wives and their girlfriends. They go through divorces and shit. They get into it with their kids. Some of them got chemical dependency problems and shit. Just like everybody else. Them motherfuckers they are officers, and so they might get a little pass here and there, but whatever you do that's fucked up, it will catch up with you in the end if you keep doing some old fucked up foul shit.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But my whole viewpoint on it, though, again, in summation, because I want to move on past this, this whole police shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
my whole thing is, I to some degree agree with you. You ain't nothing but a nigga with a badge. But like one thing that I always like to point out is that when it comes to black folks, and I'm gonna show you this graphic, but when you look at black folks, and I'm making you a little smaller so you can see this.
Sure, yes, sir.
This is black folks, man.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and she has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me?
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
So you see it.
Yes, sir.
It's no strange secret. This is children, right? If
yes,
you
sir.
conduct this experiment today, you're gonna get pretty much the same results. Okay, they've
I
done
hope,
like this.
I hope not.
No, it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, we dealing with what ought to be versus what is. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These experiments were performed by Kenneth Clark, a psychologist who helped to alter, the laws. I mean, basically, the dial test helped to overturn Brown versus Board of Education.
Yes, sir.
I mean, not overturn, but the separate but equal, Plessy versus Ferguson, and
yes, sir.
It amounted to the decision of Brown versus Board. Okay, so this is how the average Negro is looking. So you can put a Negro in the police, and this is a visceral thing. This is not something that you think about, like that you process through your reasoning. and come to the conclusion that niggas ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you think when you're a kid. When you think about yourself, you think you ain't shit.
Yeah, okay.
You think that you're inferior. You think that white people are good and that black people are bad and that you're ugly and they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Malcolm X line, right? You know, everything is white, you know, like angels. Pure white, you know, black, devil. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So at the end of the day, man, if black people still have a harbor this kind of psychology, it don't matter if you put them in a position of power. They're going to perform what white people would if they have these kind of ideas about themselves. That's my viewpoint on it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have conscious people, you know, in the police force. You got to have people who are committed to reshaping their own psyches related to their own conditioning and their indoctrination about themselves if you're black in America.
Yes, you should never forget that you are. Don't you ever forget that you are black in America. Don't you ever think that you better than or that you got a leg up because you the police or because even you're a black female. And you know, it don't buy into what mainstream media is saying.
Hold on. Black female, I thought they was better than us.
Wait, just stay focused, brother. Because I know you finna go. Just come on back with me. Come on back. So what's happened is mainstream media has leveled up the black female above the black man. Let's call a spade a spade. But what's also happened is the black woman more or less has kind of bought into this. And it doesn't have to be like that. What it should be is that neither one of us should allow anybody, any other entity to come between us. But what's happened is we are so sick as a people, like what you said with the dial test. With that dial test, it says we're sick as a people. We're sick. And since we're so sick, we don't even know that we're sick. And since we don't even know that we're sick, you can't tell a black man nothing, and you can't tell a black woman nothing. All they gonna do is buy into what CNN says or Fox says or any of these other major media outlets. Okay, if we don't get it together, then it's gonna keep going on this downward trend that we're going on right now. And all it takes is an honest discussion. And I remember one time, I don't want to keep going on this, but I remember one time I put up something on Facebook, and I think you commented on it, brother. I went on a limb and I said, I apologize for all. I apologize. I went on a limb, brother. I did. I apologize for all the things that black men have done to hurt the black woman. Now, is it possible we can unite and push forward past this? We need y'all. Y'all need us. Take it or leave it. You saw how many black females went up against that.
Oh yeah, they want to keep up the motherfucking bullshit, bro.
Okay. And I'm still like, hey, we better than we come on, sisters, we can do this. A lot of the sisters, praise be to Allah, a lot of the sisters was like, yeah, let's push past forward. But you had those ones that were the loudest. The negatives were the loudest. They were the loudest. And what happened was the sisters that was on the progressive moving forward, progressive, not progressive party, but progressive meaning moving forward, was like, you know what, this girl ain't got it. Ain't no sense of having a discussion with this girl. I'm gonna exit out this. Instead of instead of being like, "No, sister, maybe you ought to consider rethinking your thoughts," or you know what I'm saying? Maybe let's talk offline or something. You know, you remember that post. I remember it. You remember how angry they were at even the post.
And
They were angry with it.
this was about maybe 10 years ago.
No,
If I ain't
no, it
mistaken.
was it was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I remember it. I put it up, and you got on there, and you read. I think you read it because you're a reader,
Right.
and you a thinker. Okay, and when you got on there, you got on there and went in. You went in.
Yeah,
You let them have
I
it.
don't do that shit no more though. I don't do that shit
Right.
no more. But yeah, I get it. I know for a fact it had to be over 4 years ago because I ain't
Yes,
commented on
sir.
Facebook.
Yes, sir. It was. Yes, sir. It
I
was.
haven't commented on Facebook for over 4 years. I'm like, fuck, I
Yes,
ain't
sir.
talking to these people, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not casting my pearls before swine on Facebook. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? I just stopped doing it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But I felt like I had to weigh in on the issue, related to black men. And look, we know a lot of fancy motherfuckers in fancy places and shit like this.
We do.
I personally, I don't care about it. I always been down to earth whether I got a PhD or not. I think you know that about me. Like, I ain't never been no stuck up nigga acting like, I'm on top of the world. I'm got my ass on my shoulders. Grey Poupon ass fancy nigga. I ain't never been like that, bro.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Family, he has never been that family. I will co-sign.
So I always been just a regular dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and look, I've never had like an aversion towards women. Just like on a regular basis. Like I have contempt for women or some shit like that. And quite frankly, I mean, I ain't saying I'm the best looking nigga in the world, but I'm the bruhs, and I'm just being honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not no little bitty frail ass dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not a pencil neck geek. You know what I'm saying? I can smack the shit out of a nigga and give him some grief. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I done got you off a couple of people, brother.
I'm just like, okay, so look, all I'm saying is I can one night some hoes. You know what I'm saying? So like getting women is not the issue, but like black men and black women forming lasting relationships, that's the issue, bro.
Okay, yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can smash them. You know what I mean? We can get into fix them ups and hook them ups and all that kind of shit. I mean, that's easy to do.
Yes, sir.
The hard part is preserving families and shit, because family ain't even a value today, the way I see it.
Okay.
Like, okay, so now that we segueing into this shit, I want you to, now it's time to get into the short bus shit. Okay? So,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to share the screen.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go to window. I'm going to go to, why I want this shit show, bro? This is pissing me the fuck off, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. I got to go to the entire screen. I can't go to a tab, window. There it is.
Take your time, brother.
Yeah. Can you see that?
I can see it, brother.
Okay. So the first thing you said is, and this kind of corroborates what we've been saying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and show it. And kind of corroborates what we've been saying.
We are the loudest voice. We are the ones that are rah, rah, go do it. And we, as black women, it can be chaos, it can be trauma, it can be all of these different things. And you still gonna have your girlfriend, your sister, media, all these different things that are going to promote you in it. That are going to say, you go, girl, you do it. While everything else is just falling to the side. And so the feminist movement has been very detrimental to us. We left our post. We joined with other organizations of people, mainly white women, and fought their fight. We are the loudest voice.
And
we
look,
are the one.
So I've been saying that for a minute. Like, look, white women created feminism, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and they basically hijacked the civil rights movement and shit,
yes,
hijacked affirmative action, the whole nine. And,
That's because what's her name was a CIA agent.
Gloria Steinem or whatever the case may be.
He was an agent.
But you know, my whole thing is, okay, so now we got women who basically black women are the strongest feminists, man, that's out here. And the funny thing about it is, man, look, I know white women, because I studied feminism at the university. I took 3 graduate seminars in feminist philosophy, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I did so as electives. I didn't have to do the shit. The coursework was already done. I did it as an elective, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the white women that I know who were feminists, they still had fucking husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And like black women don't have fucking husbands and on some feminist shit. I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Like we die hard with the ideology, but they utilize the ideology in order to guarantee a spot for them in a career. And then they still double up with the white dudes that they fuck with in order to get more. But us,
Yes, sir.
we in some sort of like pissing match about who gonna be, you know, like running shit. And
Yes,
I just
sir.
like I'm like I don't understand it, bro.
I do. I understand it. I do. I get it. You know, what's happened, and this is just one, you know, the audience might agree with me, they might not, you might agree with me, what might not, or whatever, but what's happened is, as you know, the father was systematically taken out of the home, right? If we go back, the father, this is that, you can look this up. The black father was systematically taken out of the home because they presented black families with resources. In order to have these resources, you had to have removed the black father out of the house. Now, how I know this was my mother was in the Pruitt-Igoe. You would tell me stories about families who had to hide their father in the Pruitt-Igoe. They had to hide their fathers. They had to go somewhere. It wasn't like Good Times. Okay, Good Times was a beautiful show, but it wasn't like that. Okay, so you had to hide the fathers. If you go back before that, you use the black male to make more products in slavery times. You use the black male as products to make more slaves. So what's happened is since the father left voluntarily, or involuntarily, or whatever, he left, there was a void there. And what happened was they offered black women resources, because the black women, of course, you know, they would stay, and you know, and all the black women would see would be their immediate situation, which is only natural. You're not really looking past your situation. And so what's happened was the Gloria Steinems, interject themselves. The so-called Black Lives Matter movement interjects themselves. All these other movements interject themselves into black homes. Where,
yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's to the point right now where you got black women saying, shit, you know, fuck it. You know, like, I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's been said to me too. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So look, like this shit right here. Check this shit. Check this motherfucker out right here, bro. Check her ass out. Look at this shit. Can you see that?
Yes, I'm looking, brother.
Oh, wow. The fact that you think a woman's existence is relied on a man? Her validation, her worth is relied on a man? Let's not get ahead of yourself, buddy. Pipe down. Pipe down. Let's be real here. Having a man these days sounds like having a child that you gotta take care of. Sounds like a job to me. Sounds stressful if you ask me. But hey, Y'all don't need romance right now. Let's stop focusing on that. You need to go to therapy. Because being with someone who is unhealed is just a stressful experience. It's more stressful than pleasurable. I'd rather not.
Man, that doesn't sound like that motherfucker's healed up, man.
No. But brother, let's put what the sister said in context, brother. Let's me and you do this in my context. I'm gonna put it, not necessarily yours, but everybody in the audiences. You can tell that this is a mainstream media-minded woman. Okay, you can tell that the woman's experience dictates her reality. The problem is, like a lot, like Dr. Shirazad, like Shirazad Ali. You know, she'll tell you that your experience is based on your choices. If you chose bad, then your experience is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Just like I chose a couple of bad women and it had bad outcomes. If you choose a couple of bad men, then your experience is going to be bad. Now, how you choose your men is based off of your father, in my opinion. Now,
if that's the case, you got to understand, bro.
Yes, sir.
This is what you got to get, man. Like from the 60s on up to now, man, the single mother rate is super stupid high.
Right.
To be honest, so you know, like most black kids, you know, today are born by single mothers, and you know, we could talk about the origin of that. We could talk about like the reasons why that is.
Yes,
but
sir.
The reality is that it is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so, you know, like these chicks ain't seen no dudes in the house.
Okay.
They ain't seen no men around.
Okay.
And now they're at the point where they feel like even being with a man is drudgery, toil, work, a job, you know, and like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I just don't get, like, this is what I don't understand about these chicks like this, right? Okay. And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to use the B word or nothing, but look, lady, all the work because you know I'll call a motherfucker bitch in a minute. You know,
yes,
already
you
know
will.
that.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
But the point is, all the work you saying you're trying to escape from, you got to do it anyway.
Yes, you will.
You got to do it for your goddamn self.
Yes, sir.
There's no, like, there ain't no escaping from feeding yourself, from mopping, vacuuming, and cleaning toilets, and there's just no escape from that, man.
Yes, sir.
If you're single, you got to do it. If you're married, you got to do it.
Yes, sir.
So I don't understand, like, the whole concept of, you're making me do so much work. Now I can see, you know, if the dude is just a lazy dude, he does nothing. He provides nothing. He is a contributor towards nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just be honest, man. Like, how many niggas you know for real, dog, that ain't doing nothing in the house? They not cooking nothing. They not cleaning nothing. They not washing no dishes. They ain't washing no clothes. They just sitting back like, hey, honey, give me a beer.
I don't know any.
I don't know. I've never known any. I ain't never seen the shit in my lifetime, bro.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I've never seen a dude not do a fucking thing in the house. So to me, it's a bullshit argument to begin with. I've never seen a nigga not do nothing in the house and expect a woman to do everything. I've never, ever in my fucking life seen it, bro.
Well, if you look Remember, let's go back. Let's go back to my example, right? And you know what you said answers all the questions. If you have no example, and like I said, this looks like a mainstream media lady. This looks like a mainstream media person with the, you know, what mainstream media is telling her. If that's all she has, and if the father's not even there, what examples is she drawing off of? Well, unfortunately, her experiences is not with you. Her experiences is not with my father, your father, or me, brothers like me, who actually, hey, I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single father. I know how I got to cook for my sons. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so if that's their experience, that's what they're going off of. The problem is what you said. It's a one-sided experience, and you banging everything off. You false flag. You understand what I'm saying? So if you false flag and you banging on some bullshit, and the problem is people bang on bullshit too much instead of going on the other side, finding out what's real. Which is why I said we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, at one time I thought, a conversation would change shit.
I
But
think it would.
but put it this way, man. Like sometimes the conversation can bring out the fact that you can't even get along no more. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
And,
agree with that, brother. I don't
I
agree with
used
that.
to, look, I used to believe in black love and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's like listening to a damn Jodeci album or something, do you believe in love, all the promise that it gives? I want to love you for life because your love is why I live and all this kind of shit. Like, I mean, look, bro, all I can say is, you can't have a nation without having strong black families. You in the Nation of Islam, so you already know.
Yes, sir.
If your family life ain't strong, then your nation can't be strong.
Yes, sir.
It's impossible for you to have a nation without having a strong familial structure, because if there's no familial structure, you don't learn the virtues that's associated with being a comrade in a nation.
Yes, sir.
You can't even learn how to cooperate and how to sacrifice and how to, be a participant to a whole if you can't even do that in the context of something as simple as your own family.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
but at the current moment, all I see is just a whole bunch of egotism, narcissism, a whole bunch of one-upism, like I'm better than you type bullshit. But let's not stop there, man, because we can get stuck on one vibe,
Right.
So Pop Smoking Ghost, thank you for your contribution, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you, man. He says, so we use the sperm factories and then penalize for having them out of wedlock. While on the other side, being propagandized into being as sexually promiscuous as them to continue the cycle. And, look, at some point, women have been, basically sold this idea that, they could be as sexually promiscuous as men. And, my viewpoint on it in relation to men, I'm not saying that, you should be a prude. But even for men, like just being a dog, like I know our image is like we get a lot of women or whatever the case may be, and we get the fuck. But like you can overplay that hand, man. You can get into that and become habituated into being animalistic your damn self. Like all you're doing is fucking, and that's the mark and the measure of a man is just how many women you can fuck. That's how I'm supposed to assess your manhood. Because like a dog can, and I'm not talking about a dog in terms of a cute dog. I'm talking about a cat can fuck.
Right.
A chimpanzee can fuck. Okay? A tiger and a squirrel can fuck. A frog can fuck. So I'm supposed to be like, okay, that is the standard by which I'm going to judge and assess your virtue and your value as a man? That's some bullshit to me. Okay, but now you're taking women who are like, oh, I'm missing out because to me, what women are wanting to do is perceive themselves as the most licentious and the most excessive and I won't say vicious because I don't want to let it go into that, to that extreme. But like men who don't even have their own fucking composure, that's who they're patterning their lives after. Like, well, if he can do it, why can't I do it too? I'm like, well, why you want to be like a non-virtuous man? Like, why are you patterning your life after that bullshit?
Bruh, because that's what's popular. That's where we're at. If you look, our sister, I'm gonna say our sister Megan Thee Stallion and a lot of these. Yeah, well, no, let's call a spade, brother. Because she's still our sister. Our sister Megan Thee Stallion. Some of the imagery, I'm not going to say it's intentional on her part. Some of the imagery that's being put off on her behalf is very dangerous. It's very counterproductive to the Black family. Okay, and so what happened is they got that from the imagery of what was so-called successful of the Black man. And I'm just talking about Black folks here. I'm not talking about nobody else. And so since it was successful for them, okay, with you know what we listened to in the 90s. You know what it was, brother. You know what it was we listened to in the 90s and the crazy stuff we was listening to and what was being put in our tape decks and everything. Well, it was somewhat successful. What's happened is the true nature of the woman, the true nature of the Black woman is a nurturer. It's not it's not the Megan Thee Stallion imagery that's being put out there. The true nature of a Black woman is a nurturer, is a lover, is a lover of her family, a lover of her man or her husband, a protector of her man and her family or her husband. Okay, but what's happening is when you're taken out of your original element because of a lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, when you're taken out of your element because you still sick, because we still mentally sick, this is what you have. Well, it worked for them. Well, why can't I do it? It's not meant for you to do. And realistically speaking, it wasn't meant for the Black man to do. But the Black man.
Exactly. That was my point to begin with. Like at the end of the day, it wasn't like living a lifestyle of a Black fucking rock star. That's basically the imagery that like a Black pimp or a stud or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Man, that shit is played out, dog. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Like it was like, and then what happens is, so like you got some guys who are, like they just full blasted mad at Black women and they want to hold them accountable for the shit that they do and not let them off the hook. And I understand that position, like because I don't infantilize women. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys like to be like, well, they couldn't help it and they're so impressionable. I'm like, no, them motherfuckers know what they doing, man. They not dumb. They have brains. They can rationalize. They can, engage in reasoning and understand argumentation. Like they're more educated and more literate than Black men are. Like, I mean, let's just fucking be frank about this shit. Like a lot of these women know what the fuck they're doing. They're doing it because they feel like, it gives them a one up in relation to you. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like,
okay.
And so, like, I call it amor propre, which is a term from philosophy that a man by the name of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, he came up with. And he basically says, look, in the state of nature, men have healthy pride. There's a love of your life, and that's to be, respected, when it's substantive. But what happens is, people in society, they begin to develop like pride, but it becomes sick pride. It's like vanity. And it's like, like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
a more appropriate is. Okay. Like I want to demonstrate that I have more value than my next door neighbor by the kind of car I'm driving, or the way I do my lawn, or, the way, my siding looks, or, the addition I put in my backyard, or like the kind of clothing or the shoes that I have. Like, I went and bought these red bottoms, or, like look at these fresh ass Nikes, or for the guys that are in business, like I got some, Johnston and Murphy's, or, some Kenneth Coles, the brand new ones that look kind of like gym shoes, but they could operate as a dress shoe. Or a watch. Like look at my this clean, Rolex that I have, or Omega watch or whatever. So it's like using material consumer products to demonstrate your one-upmanship, or what kind of job you have, or, what level of education you have. Well, it's just you using titles and, superficial certificates and material items to demonstrate how much value and virtue you have. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
That's a sickness. And I think that, right now we're smack dab in the middle of black people trying to demonstrate their fitness over superficial shit, when we all are at the bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah.
We're all at the bottom of the barrel. Black women ain't wealthy. You might have a decent job. You might have a degree. But lady, you ain't balling like that because you don't own shit like that. Like, we can go look at the wealth that black people have in contradistinction to what white people have. White women, white men, and every other demographic. We can go look at it. We can measure it. And all of them fucking degrees ain't adding up to wealth. And it can't. Because in order to actually develop wealth, you have to do it in conjunction with partners or spouses or whatever. You do it in a familial context.
Yeah.
And it's transgenerational. Now, I'm not saying that people don't lose wealth over generations, because that happens as well. But I mean, come on, bro. Like, this whole idea that you can actually do it by your guy. Like, white women don't say to themselves, I can do it, like, as in general, I can do it by myself. I mean, not to say that they don't have, some of the same problems that black folks have, but typically they're not like, I'm strong and independent woman and I can do it all by myself. I don't want a husband. I don't want a man, because that sounds like too much work. I mean, but this is the shit the black women say.
But that's, remember, brother, it's a sickness. It's a sickness that we have. And so we buy into the sickness. But the brothers, and one thing I try to do is look at everything in context, brother. Our brothers, have to get to a point where we have to black folks in general, we got to reel each other back in.
Man, it's gonna be difficult, bro. But let's keep that thought.
I'm not saying it's not. But hey, man, we got to reel each other. Yes, sir.
But before we go further, man, please support the Green Gorilla channel, man. You know what I'm saying? If you can, man. Hold on. We'll be back one quick commercial break. I'll be back real fast, Chris. Don't go nowhere, bro.
Yes, sir.
Don't go nowhere, man. Hold on. All right, man, we back. I'm GG. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's a place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up with no chases, man. Shout out to Michael Ross. Thank you for the donation, sir. Appreciate that. Please consider supporting the Green Gorilla channel. You understand what I'm saying? Talking my head off for hours and hours on end, you know. It would be nice to receive a little bit of support here and there. But having said all that, man, look, I wanna move into the next phase of this, which is I'm not gonna show that right now.
Man, I wanted to see what the heck she had to say. But go ahead.
No, she on a whole different level because she talking about But let's look at this. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
yeah, let's look at this one. Let's stay on this chick right quick, man.
Okay.
I really didn't want to have to talk this shit, but you asked for it. Most of y'all on here are incels. We're not the same, baby. I am choosing to be abstinent. You are forced to be. Picture a reality filled with abundance, filled with opportunity thrown at you left and right. You have options, any, many, money, mo. You getting approached daily, yet you're dodging every single bullet of temptation. That's a huge flex. Most people come into your life to waste your time. You know how many bodies I would have been burying if I allowed that to happen? And not having the discipline and the control to say no? But instead, I'm choosing to have a clean record? Yes, that's very much so is a huge accomplishment. I really didn't want to have to.
What you think about that, dog?
Well, look, brother. Listen. I, she sounded different, yeah. But I'm gonna be honest with, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I have no. I don't really have a problem with what she said. I just think about why put that. That's your business. What you choose to do with your body is your business, and if that's what you want to do that. I have no problem with what she said. Okay, cool. You don't want to do that. That's good for you, sister. I applaud that. Who you let in your space, who you let in your, that's fine. I just have an issue with the whole thing of, or maybe that's her, maybe that's her TikTok thing to say those kind of things. I don't know. I just have a problem with her. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and you're bragging instead of just, I'm a discreet dude. Yeah, I got a problem with that, bro. I have a problem. I have a problem with her, just letting everybody. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just got a problem with you just downing. I feel like she's downing people who aren't making the same decisions that you're making instead of getting them on your level.
This, first of all, she shamed, to me, this was a dig at men, because that's what she does. All right, so she dug and called, men incels. She basically said that her decision to be celibate was just that, a decision. Other people are forced in it because they don't have the capacity to fuck, which, quite frankly, man, let's just be honest about this shit, man. I don't know what, I understand that there probably are some incels, meaning there are some guys that lack social skills, so they don't have access to women and shit, so they're kind of sexless or whatever.
Right.
But, dude, man, where I'm from, man, you police the area where I'm from.
Yes, sir.
Everybody fucking there, to me, as far as I'm concerned. Ugly niggas, crackhead niggas, everybody's fucking there. Now, am I wrong about this, bro?
No, brother, you're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Any and everybody's fucking, bro. Broke niggas is fucking. D-boys with bread is fucking. Niggas with good cars is fucking. Niggas catching the bus is fucking. The whole idea that, like, you know, you got so many niggas trying to get at you, but you dodging and dipping and like you got better shit to do with your time. I guarantee you, bruh, that bitch done fucked at least about 150 dudes.
Well, brother, we don't know that, brother. She could be, but we don't know that. That's what I'm saying. That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying.
I got my spidey sense. My spidey sense says you got that much energy, you know what I'm saying, to utilize in order to shame people and shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got that much motherfucking energy to shame people with, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Then it's something already off in you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true.
you don't come off trying to be like, well, you know, you're celibate because you gotta be. I'm celibate because I choose to be.
Right.
And that's, you know, that is arrogance. Some of the guys, like, you know, like, that's arrogance ain't cute. That's fucking arrogance.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. If you're arrogant with what you're saying, then the spirit of what you're saying gets lost. If your goal is to make black women hold on to their body, which is precious, if that's your goal, then arrogance, me and you shouldn't get an arrogant spirit from it, brother.
Right.
We shouldn't.
Exactly.
We should.
Exactly.
We should get a spirit of respect. We should get a spirit of humility. We should get a spirit of, at least we should get that spirit from her. I didn't get that spirit from her. I got a very braggadocious, prideful, dangerously prideful, not regular prideful, but dangerously prideful. I got that spirit from her. You know, and a woman, and, you know, in my day, you know, I got turned down by plenty of women who said, no, I don't want to do that. But, you know, I want to continue dating you. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and I never felt any kind of humiliation from it. It was just, this is something I'm choosing to do for my body. I want to save what I want to save for my husband, or, you know, for somebody I know that's going to be my, you know, whatever your choice is. It was never very, I never, you know, spirit is everything. Intent is everything. Intent is everything. You know, if you out here trying to stroke your own ego, brother, you looking at kind of, you looking goofy out here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just a way to dig your people, man. And you know,
to me, yeah, absolutely.
Even you know, like, people who are involuntarily celibate, you know, okay, well, you know, you should make fun of them for what? You know, it is what it is, bro. But let me move on to the next one, man.
Yes, sir.
Check this guy out, man. This is about, like, what men should be doing versus what women should be doing in the context of relationships.
There are women that want to embrace their femininity in a relationship, but they can't, because they have to use these quote-unquote masculine qualities that toxic men chastise women for having to be able to go to a job to get half the money to pay the mortgage. There's women that want to be soft, but how can she be soft with you when all you're offering her is a hard life? You're offering her a life of labor, a headache, unsafety. She don't know if she can trust you, and you want her to be soft and feminine when there's not a spot that's soft enough for her to land in that direction. If you need a woman to be quote-unquote masculine enough to go get that money, bring it back so y'all can pay y'all rent, then you cannot chastise her for being a leader because she wants to make decisions. You cannot chastise her because she wants a heavy voice inside the household. But y'all do that. You chastise her for being hard, but all you offer is a hard life. Because she can't even trust your direction when it comes to keeping your own inside your pants. But yet you want this feminine version of a woman. You're not providing a safe space for her to be that. There are women that want...
All right, that was a lot to unpack there, bro.
I think, you know, one would call that, that's what I'm saying, that's a generalization, man. That's a generalization. That's a certain, you know, I don't know of any brothers like that. I don't. I don't know of any brothers of what he's speaking of. I can't speak to what he's talking about. I really can't, because I don't know no brothers like that. All the brothers I know like that are with their ladies, you know, and I'm sure you can speak the same. All the brothers I know, hey man, all we want is respect. You know, men are built off respect. You know, I'm not. I don't like. You know, like I can't speak to what he's talking about. That's for me. That's kind of uh what they call it, caping.
Yeah, that's that nigga. Yeah, that's what we call it. Simping. You know what I'm
Simping,
saying?
yeah, simping. I think he's kind of simp. But I do believe he believes in what he's saying. I believe he
That's we
believes
call,
in
man.
what
Come
he's
on,
saying.
man. This is what we call that shit, bro. You know, Captain Save a hoe. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you just come out, you cape. You know what I'm saying? You do whatever they look, bro. This the thing that fucks me up, right? It's 2023, right?
yes, sir.
Ain't too many motherfucking white, brown, or black folks making enough money to where they got like marriages where woman is just a stay-at-home fucking lady or some shit like that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I've never like how many white girls you see at the university and shit. Like, you know, like what are they there for? They there so they can get a goddamn job.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, white chicks that I know, and I know a lot of white chicks, just, you know, being in the fucking field that, you know, I'm in. Like a lot of white chicks, man. A lot. Okay? They work, man.
They
And
work.
they got
Yeah, they do.
husbands at the crib.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The husband works. Sometimes she make more than he do, but she don't belittle him and tell him, you know, you're fucking up because you're not giving me a soft life, and I'm more masculine and all of this shit. No, like that masculine energy comes from. Let's be honest, man.
Okay.
It's a stereotype about black women being hard and unnecessarily rough and motherfucking goddamn disrespectful. It's a
Is that
stereotype, right?
okay?
But the
Is that
stereotype
stereotype?
is based on some truth to a certain extent.
Okay, that was the question I was going to ask you.
Because black women, man, are just fucking in general disrespectful. They feel like they can challenge a man's strength physically. If they ain't trying to challenge him physically, they trying to be at war with him emotionally. If they ain't trying to be at war with that nigga emotionally, they trying to ruin his fucking reputation or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like it's just a lot of bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of bullshit that you know. This is why like a lot of black men are like, man, fuck this shit. I'd rather go elsewhere, see what women are like elsewhere in the world. I might even marry a black woman from goddamn Brazil, or go marry a fucking Filipino woman, or go fuck with, you know, fuck it. I'd rather a white bitch as long as she ain't all up in my face trying to be all strong and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much. It's overbearing, bro.
Well, yes, it is, and
Bro, don't. It's over fucking bearing, bro.
it is. It's over. I'm not gonna sit here and say that you're lying. No, I'm not gonna say that you're lying, because I've been in those situations. I have. But what I am gonna say is I've been in situations where the woman is very humbling. She's humble.
Oh, I've met humble women. I'm not saying I'm not saying I haven't met humble black women at all.
Right.
But I am saying this though. I've had black women, man. Like, look, dude, this the shit that fucks me up, right? A lot of these chicks are like, well, you know, I'm masculine, I'm rough, and I'm tough because I gotta hold it all together because you ain't doing your part.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't have to do any part at all. I should be able to just live like a bougie ass white bitch and don't have to work at all and just go buy shit and, you know, worry about how I'm gonna lay out the silverware for fucking dinner that I ain't even cooking because I got a maid or a fucking butler or some shit.
Right.
And I'm like, well, when did like anybody in America beyond a certain kind of class-based motherfucker live that kind of life? Like, I mean, go through the annals of history in America and tell me how many white women lived like that. Well, I mean, apparently motherfuckers don't read history. They don't learn it. None of that shit. Like, White chicks used to work in textile factories in New England and a whole bunch of shit where they locked their asses up inside of the goddamn factory to make sure that they was going to work and wasn't taking too many breaks. European motherfuckers used to put kids to work until the labor laws made it such that they were no longer forced to. I mean, this whole idea that women are just, like the normal course of labor for women is just to be inside of the house. Like, I get it. I understand it. But come on. And then here's the other thing that fucks me up, right? Women are demanding that they have these jobs and shit. It ain't like they like,
What jobs you talking about? What job?
Any job. Like, any women are not saying, okay, well, I want to just be a wife. They like, fuck it. I want a job. I want a career.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the fuck are you going and getting a career so you can get married and have a motherfucker sit back and lay back? You can just sit back and chill? Like, white people ain't even doing this. This is the fucked up thing. White women are not doing this, bro. They getting their asses out and going to work. How many white motherfucking bitches do you see on the highway going back and forth to work at fucking between 7 and 8 a.m., bro?
I mean, you see it a lot, but I'm not now. I think, and I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying. I think that black women are doing that too, but I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying. But I think that the black women bringing that so-called mentality that we're talking about. Are they bringing that mentality home to their husbands and to their man and to their significant others? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, bro.
Yes, sir.
You can't say that you want a man to being masculine is having a job.
Yes, sir.
And being able to provide everything for the family while you sit on your ass and do nothing but enjoy a life of leisure and conspicuous consumption. But then, at the same time, do everything you can to demonstrate that you are masculine your damn self by outdoing men in the market, is what I'm saying. So, like, I'm saying, if it's the case that being a man is being able to earn money, then bitch, why you out there doing manly shit your damn self? I don't understand it, bro. Like, if masculinity is how much money you can make in the market, then why are women out there in the market trying to get money if that's what masculinity is?
Because it's really, I don't know if it's really about masculinity.
It's not about masculinity, but they make it masculinity
right,
as it pertains to them and what benefits them in the course of thinking about and framing a traditional relationship. So,
but that's a false narrative. That's a false narrative. That's a false narrative that's been put out there. And what's happened is, once again, I'm gonna go back to the culprit here. For me, mainstream media puts out this false narrative, and what's happened is they don't go to other media outlets, I'm gonna say, and try to broaden their horizons and go back to what is simple, having a conversation, which is why I go back to the black man and the black woman having a conversation. It's just us. Let's wrap this out. That'll fix a lot of this shit, in my opinion. If everybody humbles themselves, the black man's got to humble himself. The black woman's got to humble themselves. Everybody got to humble themselves. Without humility, this is a waste of time. We humble ourselves and have that conversation.
But look, I've been humble. Look, I have been humble in my life.
Yes, sir.
And I'm still humble enough. I'll talk to anybody.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm not gonna, comport differently because I'm talking to somebody. Like I don't change the way I talk, bro. For white folks or black folks.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, like a lot of people think that, like I'm this moniker on video, but like for real, I'm pretty much consistent, man. I don't try to change my tone, the code switch for white folks, because I just don't do it, man. I'm me all the time, for real. And I think I'm intelligent enough and witty enough, to be myself 100% of the time, okay? So But the whole thing is, it ain't too many humble people out here, man. And quite frankly, Western culture is not producing humble women at all. It's just not, bro. I ain't talking about just black women either. I'm talking about Western women in general are just not humble, man.
Well, then you said it best. People. I don't deal with people. I deal with who I deal with my immediate reality because I have to unite with my people before I unite with anybody else. If I don't have unity in my house and in my immediate situation, I can't go outside my immediate situation and ask for unity. So I have to stay here and try to unify with the entity that I don't have unity with. And right now we don't have unity with the black woman as a whole. And so
And who is the cause of that?
who is the I believe the outside entity, the dominant society, is the cause of that. But what has happened is the black man has bought into the negative aspect of it, and the black woman has bought into it also. Everybody's bought into it because this is all we had. Instead of these alternative media outlets that we have now, which is why it's very important for us to have these alternative media outlets where I can come on the Green Gorilla channel, or I can turn on Kevin Samuel, or I can turn on whoever else, and I can turn on whoever, or the Tariq Nasheeds and all these people. You can go on these media outlets and you can get another perspective in a whole nother context. Okay. And the problem is we're so stuck on one context, and that is the mainstream media. And they don't control what the ideas that they put out there. Those ideas are it's called TV programs. They're to program you. And what's happened is the black man and the black woman have bought into these programs. We don't control what they put on CNN, Fox.
Yeah,
We don't
to a
control
certain
it.
so to a certain extent, I think that they have bought into a specific kind of narrative that has been pushed not only by media, but it's been pushed by policy, been
Yes,
pushed
sir.
by law. Because
Yes, sir.
at the end of the day, my viewpoint on it is this, bro. And I've shown this clip several times. I'll show it again. Let me get it pulled up here. And
It's
then
my
we'll come
man
back
Corey. It's just Corey.
No, that ain't him.
Oh, okay. I thought
That's
this
not
was
Holcomb. Hold on.
Okay.
So this is the white women telling you what actually went down. Here.
Most important changes that have taken place in respect to the status of women since you've been in Congress.
Well, I think perhaps the most important change was the one that added sex to the bill of 1964. This bill was drafted really to help Negroes. Now, it wasn't clear. It would have meant that Negro women would have been given rights that were not available to white women. Therefore, we added sex. It is my belief that the drafters had assumed that no women would get any rights. So that I think both white and black women were helped by the bill.
So basically what she's talking about is the 1964 Civil Rights Bill.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yeah, I know that bill.
So they added sex to it because they said that, white women didn't want to be one-upped by black women.
Right.
That's the argument. But ultimately what she says is, in the end, is that both women, black and white, that's what I meant to say, both black and white women benefit from the bill. Okay?
Right.
To a certain extent. Now, if it's the case that both black and white women benefit from the bill, then where the fuck does it leave black men?
Right where we're at right now, brother.
Exactly. So, this is what we've been saying in this space. And what should be apparent. Shahrazad Ali said it in her own unique way. A lot of men all over the culture are saying it to, some degree or the other. And the idea is this. White women basically hijacked the civil rights movement, and black women follow right behind them.
Yes, sir.
Because there was a conduit for them to be able to have a leg up. Because they're able to access all of these laws and these policies that open up pathways for women. And so black women have been able to shoehorn themselves into white women's hijacking of the Civil Rights Bill.
Mm-hmm.
But black men have been, instead of getting the Civil Rights Bill, black men got mass incarceration.
But the question that we're not asking is what conditions were put there for the black women to buy into this. The condition was put there. The condition was put there. Right.
We already know what the condition is, bro. You talked about welfare earlier.
Right.
You talked about government influence, namely clandestine organizations like the CIA. We already know, okay?
Right.
But here's the thing. This is what fucks me up about it, right? Black men, like, you know the amount of us that are illiterate, right? You probably don't know because you're a member of the talented so-called 10th. You're a college graduate, bruh.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
But like the vast majority of black men are illiterate. I mean, look at the school. Look at the school race of literacy, bro, amongst the black male population, and you tell me what the fuck it is.
Okay.
Black male literacy. Just look it up.
Black male literacy. Let me go get my other phone.
Don't worry about that. Don't do that, man. So look, only 12% of black males are proficient in reading by 8th grade.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you got to think. In order to be able to reason and to assess what the fuck is actually occurring in your world, you need access to information and you need to be able to process information in a graduated way and in a graduated level.
Okay. And where does that come in? Let me pose the question to you. And let me pose the question to the audience also. Why is the black man, why is this literacy where it's at today? Why? Where did that come from? I don't want to say that's the fault of the black woman, but the first educator of the child is the woman. The first educator of the child is the woman. It is.
Look, for all of you guys, just in case you don't believe what the fuck I'm saying is true, because a lot of you niggas don't believe. I'm from Show Me State, so I can show you better than I can fucking tell you. Okay? I can show you better than I can tell you. So this is an article in The Hill, okay?
Hyundai Palisade versus Honda Pilot. Look what Palisade has and what Pilot doesn't. Hyundai Palisade wins every time.
This is gonna play any goddamn way. Let it play out. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, look. I just had it exactly where I wanted it. Now I gotta go dig it. Go dig for it. 84% of black students in 8th grade lack the ability to do math, and 85% are functionally illiterate. I cannot believe this. Okay? According to the National Assessment of Education, a sector of the U.S. Department of Education, 84% of black students lack proficiency in mathematics. 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. Okay?
Okay.
Anyway, I'm just using this to demonstrate that the shit is out there, right? Like, we're suffering as it pertains to literacy and mathematical skills.
Right.
Okay? And black males are doing worse than everybody else.
Okay.
Okay. So
why?
Well, I mean, to be quite frank, man, like, you want to know my honest assessment?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
White women are educating our kids. The public school system is educating our kids, and we don't have control over the public educational system. Like during segregation, we had control over the school system.
There we go. Okay, now we going into a real topic. Okay, yes, sir. I mean, not the other topics weren't real, but now we getting into some crazy stuff now. Okay. Because my grandfather taught me the three things some of the worst things that ever happened to black people were in this order: Al Sharpton, crack, and and desegregation. That was the worst worst three things that happened to black people.
Yeah.
You know, when you take, and if I'll take it like this, the first educator of the black man and the black woman is their mother. Okay? But what happens is the mother has to trust the public school system to further educate their children. Now, you take them outside, you take them out, you bust them out there because you think that the milk is, you think that the books are, you think that, well, you think that the milk is milkier, you think that the water is waterier, and you think that all this stuff is going on because of a sickness that we have. And what happens is we forget that the one thing that we have in unification, the one thing I have and that you have in common is our blackness. That's the one thing we have. That pineal gland and that pituitary gland, which are with both of them are enlarged. That's the one thing that we have in common. So the black woman understands how to educate the black man. The black woman or the black man knows how to educate the black girl and the black man. Any educator, we know because we got that thing that we have in common. We take them out there and we lose it. We lose it. And so what happens is the black man, I believe, the product of this is the 12%, this 80 and the 84% of illiteracy, and the 12% that is illiterate. Okay, the caveat of that is that because I believe they push, in my opinion, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful, because brothers like you are a threat. They are. You're a threat. You is, brother. You're a threat. The woman is less of a threat.
But let me exactly. We've been, look, black women know this shit. They've been knowing it, but they won't even admit it now. So they gaslight about the shit in order to preserve their position, like the one-up position, which I consider to be plantation politics, if you ask me. And everybody suffers from it because what are you actually gaining from having that one-up? Like, so, okay, you got control of the kids and shit. Or, you know, like you are like the head honcho in the household because you can't be told what to do. And just think about this shit though, bro. Let's just keep it a buck, right? How many women want weak ass niggas for husbands?
I hope none, but listen, audience, I hope y'all don't want no weak men.
I swear to God, man. I swear to God, bro.
I hope not.
How many women out there want a weak ass nigga for a husband? I mean, just be honest about this. Like, look, they say that if they get one, they don't want it. If like the shit that they're demanding that a man do in the house, they don't even like it. They're not attracted to that. Like nobody wants it. Women don't like men that they could just push over and fucking get them to do anything they want them to do. Women don't like that. They don't respect that. If a woman can't respect you, she can't love you.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
So you know, this guy here says black, physically strong, mentally weak. They not even attracted to a motherfucker that's mentally weak and physically strong. Now, they might use that motherfucker, but they not in love with that motherfucker. They'll use a nigga like that, And it might give them some sort of sense of satisfaction of being in control, but they not in love. You can't respect a motherfucker that's mentally weak. You can't. And then you're going to continue to have problems and struggles and you're going to bump heads and shit like that. So at the end of the day, like, women they really don't like weak dudes. But they'll fuck with a weak dude. It's conflicting messages. They want to be the boss and they want a strong nigga at the same time. You can't, at the end of the day, how many women are going to be satisfied with a motherfucker that they could, fold into a presser or take to the grass or some shit like that? Like, bruhs, like, if they get in loggerheads and it's a disagreement, how they gonna settle it? They go into the grass with the shit, right?
I'm not advocating that. I don't know nothing about it.
Nigga, you know what it is. You I know advocate it. You might not advocate it, okay? But that's how it's gonna go, right?
Yes, sir.
So if it's a disagreement between a woman and a man, how the fuck is it gonna be rectified? By her telling this nigga how it's gonna be? But what ends up happening is she gonna end up going to the system and going holler at the white police or black police. She gonna go holler at a social worker, or she gonna go talk to a judge, and it's gonna be an issue. And then she gonna try to son you or punk you. And then she gonna lose all respect for you. Why ain't you manning up? Cause you just checked the nigga with the system. You just use proxy violence against this nigga.
And I do, in my line of work, I can attest to that. Unfortunately, I can attest to that. That is, that's what I've seen,
Bruh, a woman would I had a woman try to put me out of my own fucking house, bro. Like the house, not a rental property in another state, but I own a house on Kasu.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know this shit.
Yes, sir. Motherfucker, pay taxes on it to this day. I own the motherfucker, right? So here's the deal, right? How you gonna try to put a nigga out of his own fucking house? That's the nuts of nuts. You gotta have stupendous nuts to try to put a nigga out of his own property. I ain't married to you, bitch. You ain't even got shit in my house other than a whole bag. But you want to stay in my house because you pissed off? Bitches be slapping and punching niggas and then calling the police.
Wait, brother, let's I know you.
I'm just saying, look, I know I need to calm down or whatever the case may be.
It's okay. It's okay, brother.
But here's the point. It has gotten to the point where society has enabled so many ways for women to utilize narratives, policy, whether it's legal or whether it's just a narrative in the public in general about how things actually happen inside of the context of the home, right? So right now, it's so many ways for women to fuck over you in marriage. Even if you ain't married, these chicks can fuck you over. Okay? And they use it. They have no problems utilizing these policies, the narratives, or the state, or the police, in order to siphon off to siphon off resources or funds from you, or to try to fuck you up, to try to belittle you. And we act as if this shit is not occurring. Now, men will get into fights with each other and never will call the police.
That's true.
Okay? So it just stands to reason to me that if a woman would slap and punch your ass, you're not going to be like, okay, the first thing I'm doing is calling the police, but we should.
Yeah.
But the fucked up part is, not to disrespect you, because you are the police, but a lot of the police are some bitch ass niggas, and they'll come to the house, and the first thing they'll try to do is validate and vindicate this bitch without looking at what the fuck is actually going on in the household.
But that's where that comes. Okay, remember the first example. You gotta humble yourself. Part of it is you gotta humble yourself. You gotta humble yourself to your situation. You have to understand that you ain't no better. I've been in those situations. So when I come to the house, I'm coming from a different. I'm coming from a different. I'm coming from a different perspective. I'm not coming there to put nobody out of the house. I could come there and be like, hey, look, somebody got to go. Okay, somebody got to go. What I try to do at first is try to do reasoning. I'd like to think. I like to think that I'm not somebody special or no unique police officer. I like to think that. Matter of fact, I think that I'm nobody special, but I try to come to every situation different and try to find reasoning and try to find understanding. How do we get to this point? Now, 9 chances out of 10, the police officer is in an unfair advantage because it took them years to get to this point, or a year, or 6 months, or 7 months, or whatever that. Whoever's calling the police there expects us to fix it right then and there. So this police officer is coming to the house. He's coming to this situation that you're talking about and that I'm talking about. The people that call the police, they demand a solution. They demand this. They demand that. The police don't want another call back to the house. So the immediate reaction, because it's a heightened situation, it's a heightened emotional situation. The reaction of it is they want an immediate fix. And what's the immediate fix, brother? Somebody go to jail or somebody leave.
Exactly.
Okay. Instead of, and then when they get me, I'm like, well, state of Missouri says I can't put him out of this house. The only way I can put him out of this house is in cuffs. Now, you're telling me he did this to you, brother. What happened? Well, she hit me. Well, ma'am, I got to take you too. So the problem of it is, I've also presented this situation with people. Say, hey, listen, like I said before, is there any kind of way, ma'am, I could take you somewhere, brother, I could take you somewhere for the night and y'all could come back and have this conversation when cooler heads prevail? Because you know they're going to be back together. So
sometimes, sometimes it happens like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, but you know, like, but here's the deal. And, you know, I can't really get into all of this because I know how current domestic violence policy actually came to fruition in the exact way that it is. Like, I know the history of it academically. I know the principal players in terms of their names and personages, their levels of education, their publications and shit like that. So I'm not going to get into all that right now, okay?
Yes, sir.
But the only thing that I can say is, as it pertains to power, a lot of guys think that they're in power in these relationships, or that they're going to be respected and treated equitably in the context of disputes related to a relationship, and it's just not the case, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be aware of that shit, okay? And women, you know, like I say, women have like an inordinate amount of power to fuck over your life if they want to. And then the question is, like, is it really worth it? If I had a son, I have 2 girls.
Right.
If I had a son, I'd be like, man, leave these bitches alone, bro. I would tell him that. I swear to God, I know.
Well, then how is he supposed to continue your legacy, brother?
Hey, man, I tell him, hey, bro, tell you what.
He's got to continue your legacy, brother.
Go to Gambia. Go somewhere. Take your ass somewhere, man. And like, or vet the woman for a long time. But don't.
There we go. How about that?
But even in that, see what motherfuckers don't understand is this. Even like the laws are such in the United States that even after you've been with a woman for years, like she could be like nice as fucking like as can be, Cinderella type nice for years. And then inadvertently, like, there's no reason. She doesn't have to have a reason. She can just terminate and dissolve it all. And women are the ones typically who terminate relationships. They're the ones who initiate divorces. Typically.
That's true.
I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying that men don't do it, but I'm saying typically. So a woman that you could be with for 20 years could just all of a sudden say, no reason, I don't feel satisfied anymore. I want a different experience. And just take half your assets, take half your 401k, and just pack up and, like, fuck it. And be like, well, I want to live, I want a hot girl summer and all this shit. And there's nothing you can do about it. Who wants to live under the threat? That's like living, to me, like the sword of Damocles. Like the sword just is dangling over your head and it can just drop in any fucking second.
That's true.
Who wants to deal with the precarity of a culture which encourages this kind of fucking behavior? And I'm going to tell you the reason why it exists in America the way that it does. First of all, you have no-fault divorce laws. Don't know why they decided to do that shit. Like, a marriage is supposed to be a contractual obligation.
Yes.
You violate the terms of the contract, you ought to be penalized for it. Not today. Not women today. They can be like, I just want to fuck the pool boy. I want that motherfucking eggplant I want cream pie. And then guess what? Okay, the judge. What are the resources? And then they divvied up. So all I'm saying is the culture of instant gratification, of I get to pick what I want. Because I mean it's an extension of neoliberal capitalism. Like, and what I mean by that is this. If you don't like what you see on TV, what do?
You change it to something else.
You change the fucking channel.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But it's one thing to have a situation in which there's only 8 channels for you to turn to. Now, it's hundreds of channels motherfuckers can turn to.
Yes, sir.
You got pornography every goddamn where. But it's the illusion of choice that makes people think that, they're gaining or missing something by developing, they feel like they're missing something by developing this attitude that I'm not free if I have to put my energy and effort into something that's difficult. But that's the only way you actually attain freedom. This is what motherfuckers don't get. The only way you can actually be free is by making yourself become dedicated to something and exhibiting and exercising excellence and virtue in it. That's how you attain freedom. You're not free just by being able to do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's how, that's a precondition of, like not being dominated, but that's not the essence of what freedom is. But motherfuckers think that that's what freedom is. I just want to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I tell my sons, because I tell my sons, do what you're supposed to do so that you can do what you want to do.
Like, say, for example, your homework.
Yeah, do what you're supposed to do. Just clean, like my son, he know his job when I get through cooking, put the dishes in the dishwasher, mop the floor, and this weekend, you wanna go hang out, you gonna go hang out. But you gotta do this.
Before you can do that.
Yeah, before you can do that. Exactly. You gotta do this.
But even that's duty. I get it. Okay, so
yes,
this is what I like to tell people. See, America has like a preoccupation with negative liberty. Freedom away from something. Okay? Like, I want to be free from you, or free from the government, or free, to do what, I desire, or whatever the case may be. Now, first of all, your desires could be a big source of unfreedom. Like desire. How many people have been ensnared by desires to the point where they're a slave to their passions? There's a reason that there's a term called a slave to the passions.
Yes, sir.
Like so just because you're able to do something, right, and you're not restricted from doing it, doesn't mean that activity is going to result in like an enhancement of well-being for you. That's just bullshit. Okay? But there's the freedom of self-determination, which is the freedom to be able to choose what it is that you want to do. But then there's also the freedom of self-realization, meaning that, you commit yourself to a habit or a practice or a skill or occupation where you can realize yourself through that and become a better person and have more options and choices in your life because of that. Or there's also the freedom of self-perfection, which is something similar, but it's like you make yourself better overall in general, like more virtuous, like less cantankerous, like less intemperate, like, or, less rash and more, reserved and calm. It's like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to open up the visor, but it's like our pearls, like qualities that you have to work on in order to possess them. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. And
so some things, like, you have to work on things in order to become a better person. Okay? It's not like, but see, what people in this culture do is, if it don't work soon as they feel like it should be working, they just say fuck it and give up. Like, if they, like, imagine like if Kobe Bryant was like, I lost the game, so fuck it. I ain't gonna practice no more.
Right.
I'm about to go out and go, see what these hoes is hitting on. Which he did. I mean, but the whole point is, he went out, he wanted to be the best. So he had to practice. And he practiced more than everybody else practiced. So he could be good at the game. That's the freedom of self-realization through self-perfection. And it requires, self-determination, but not just being able to do whatever it is you want to do.
Yep.
Choosing the right course of action is necessary for virtue and freedom. Not just being able to do whatever the fuck you want to do without any forethought or, any restriction of desire or whatever. So today this is a microwave culture, man. As soon as shit get rough or difficult, motherfuckers is out.
That was just what I was going to say.
They the first ones to bail. Because let's be frank, man. Women in this culture do not have it hard, dog. For all the shit they complain about, they don't have it hard, dog. If a chick is in financial trouble, they got Section 8 real quick for her ass. I'm not saying men don't get, Section 8. They can get the voucher, but will a motherfucker actually give them the crib? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
yes, sir.
Yeah, guys can get EBT card, but like if they ain't got kids, they ain't getting as much money as, they might have kids, but if those kids aren't in his possession, and typically they will not be, not to say there aren't exceptions, because there are, okay? But typically, the woman's going to get the kids and all the accoutrements and the benefits that come along with it. They're going to get child health insurance. They're going to get housing vouchers. They're going to get food vouchers and all kind of shit. But if you fuck up, nigga, they got a jail cell for you or the streets.
which starts a revolving cycle, which is where we're at now. And so, I don't necessarily fault the black woman for that. I just feel like, that she and the black male have to understand that we are both been victimized and manipulated by the same system. And in order for us to fix it, we must fix it.
And that's cool. But I want you to think about this before. I don't want you. Look, dude. It's 5:30. I know you ain't gonna be here too much longer. So let me do this.
Okay? Yes, sir.
Let me do this. This, bro. Opinion. What happens if your girl do some shit like this?
Okay.
Y'all, I just pulled up to Hooters and my man is sitting here eating at Hooters. Like, y'all, no freaking joke. He literally sitting down at Hooters eating. Like, I done came in reckless and everything. That's why your shirt messed up. Because why are you even at Hooters in the first place?
You ain't had to pull me by my shirt in front of all them
I don't care. You should have been at Hooters, bro. You gonna try to call me.
Move your kind in front
I'm not moving nothing. Go home.
Wait a minute. Y'all mean to tell me y'all ladies putting hands on y'all for eating at Hooters now? What the fuck is going on?
Y'all, I just pulled...
Man, that's a general, bruh. That is, bruh, that's a, come on, man. But that is like that's an example of the type of woman that we warn ourselves, that we warn our sons not to be a part of. I don't believe that represents the black woman.
Boy,
I don't, bro.
I wish it wasn't the case. But here's the deal, right? This is what guys don't understand, right? Relationships, I ain't gonna say, like, Dr. Johnson is the one who's got more information on, like, the amount, the percentage of relationships that actually have violence within them. But typically when there is violence within the context of a relationship, it's reciprocal, meaning that both people are engaged in it, okay? But when there's unilateral violence, the woman is the one who's initiating the violence more than anybody else. Okay? It's not the man who's initiating the violence more, it's the woman who is. Okay? And not only that, okay? But the problem comes and results in this. When there's a narrative that basically says that it's men who are just beating the shit out of women and abusing them, okay? Because the narrative is the one that's the paramount narrative. It's the one that's promoted in the media. It's the one that's promoted in academia. It's the one that's promoted by social activists. It's the primary narrative. But here's the killing part. As it pertains to male and female relationships amongst blacks and whites, the relationship of the relationships in which violence exists are more so than any other demographic. So, I mean, it's more than white folks, it's more than Hispanic folks, it's more than Asian folks. So, I mean, you know, like, women are assaulting the shit out of niggas and daring them to do shit about it. You saw that guy.
Yeah.
He like, man, what the fuck? Why you had to do that though? Like, if a nigga would have came and grabbed him by his goddamn collar at Hooters, what would he have done?
He would have beat the bricks off that dude.
But your wife can come into the fucking Hooters and grab you by your collar and shit? And then we can, but this is a narrative of strength. Like, people laugh at shit like this. This is funny. This is amusing to motherfucker. Oh, look how funny that is.
Then the sick part about it is, here's the sick part. This is put out there, not the black woman and the black man going to dinner together, sharing a romantic dinner. That narrative ain't being put out there, because I believe that's going on just as much as this foolishness that you just displayed.
Hey, look, I agree.
But that's being put out there. So therefore, the bigger issue is, that is what our children are seeing. That is what other people are seeing, and those people were black people. So they assume that this is how we treat each other. So therefore, they're gonna treat us like that. We don't promote that narrative that, hey, I'm going out to dinner with my lady just because. You know, I'm getting her flowers just because. She's taking me out just because. She's coming home and we both been working, and she's like, you know what, let's just chill, and let's chill out tonight, and let's chill together. You know what I'm saying? That don't get promoted, because that's not dramatic. That doesn't attract our microwave mentality.
So hold on, look, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so look,
Yes, sir.
We can't be here forever, so I'm gonna invite some of the brothers, man. If they want to, they can come up
Come on
and
in.
ask a question. You know, they can if they want to. This brother here is a frat brother of mine. He's a police officer. I basically brought him up here to have a conversation about you know, a whole bunch of issues. You know what I'm saying? Like just in general. But he's just a brother of mine. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the manosphere. Most niggas ain't never heard of the manosphere. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just keeping it real, right? So I'm just inviting guys to come up here and to ask him some questions if he would like to, you know.
Sure.
If you know, if you want to ask him a question, ask him a question about his viewpoint or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with you. Check, you know, he can stand on his goddamn manhood. He ain't no little boy. You know what I'm saying? So,
no,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying? He can handle it. You know what I'm saying? He be out there hitting niggas with Billy Clip. No, I'm fucking.
Don't you?
Let me stop. I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you.
Please.
You know, I talk shit, bro.
Yeah, brother. You my brother, man.
Hold on, check Pete Gang. Look at this.
With some of these guys, man, unfortunately, they made failure feel like a Marriott bed. It's real comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's real comfortable. So you can make that statement, keep women feminine, because you coming in like a man, paying all them bills. But for the guy trying to wear that shirt, going 50-50, bro, you can't make that statement. She got to go out there and be a man. She got to go out there and get it like you. Even me as a man, right? If I get with a woman that's running 100 miles per hour too, right? I'm not expecting her to do for us to be play traditional roles. Nah, we not doing that. Hey, listen, you ain't got to cook tonight. I could cook. I've been living on my own since 24. I'm 39. I could cook. Nah, you ain't got to clean. I could clean. My hands work. With some of these guys, man, unfortunately.
To me, that's a straw man argument. I don't know no niggas who don't do nothing in the house, but just sit there and wait for his woman to do anything. So to me, and look, all niggas is looking for is somebody to be cooperative. Like, I done heard all these comments about submission and all this shit, and I got some brothers here. I done heard all these conversations about submission and, you know, really for real, black men haven't even been trained to be, you know, like demanding of submission from their women. What they really want or looking for is cooperation and not to be emasculated by their partners.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but you know, women have the capacity, especially black women, man. They act like they rough and tough with their afro puffs and shit. You know what I'm saying? These chicks, man, they act like they straight, they act like they niggas, for real. A lot of them. Not all of them, but it's a lot of chicks, man, that act like
it's not
niggas.
a lot of them, it's most of them, okay? Let's be honest, right? There's a reason that the average black marriage lasts 5 years, right? There's a reason that the black women have double the number of divorces versus marriages. There's a reason for that. And they're the only group that does that. Why is that? You think that just comes out of nowhere? Because of the media? Come on, man.
Well, it's not just the media, but it's slavery.
It's the historical context there.
Yeah,
to me also.
we all know that, but we don't admit that shit to fix it. We played a video from 1970 saying the exact same thing that we're saying today, right? 53 years that it hasn't been fixed. Why is that?
Well, just what I was saying, sir, brother, and I appreciate your comment.
Uh-huh.
I go back to what I said. It's got to be a willful conversation between the black man and the black woman, and until that happens, we're going to keep going down the rabbit hole of nothingness. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, after 53 years, that means we don't want to have that conversation. We don't have it. We don't want to have it.
I don't want to believe that. I mean, but I see where you're coming at. I really do. I do. I see where you're. I see where you're at. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, sometimes Doc hates me because I'm a structural realist, man. I don't believe in fantasy because I'm a STEM guy, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm structural realist.
Hey, bro, I don't never hate you, bro. Don't say that shit. Don't say that shit no more, man. No, just give you some background. Like BGS is like. They call him the Black Gnostic Speaks, man. That's his acronym, BGS. That's what it means, okay?
Yes, sir.
And also, you know, he's one of the people that helped put me on in this space. And then, he also helped put Kevin Samuels on, a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So he's like, and then plus he's 60 plus years old, so you're elder in this motherfucker as well.
Yes, sir.
You know
Absolutely.
So giving you some background on him. You know what I mean?
He's like, and then he plus 60 plus years
Get
old.
the feedback.
Hey, you got that feedback, bro.
Yeah. What I'm saying is because even Gigi is actually going through Shelby's work, going back to Clark's work, because nobody pays attention to what Clark was saying back then, right?
You talking about John Henry Clark?
No, I'm talking about
Kenneth
Clark.
Kenneth Clark. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Test, right? He wrote Dark Ghetto, right? Which the Monahan report was actually based on Kenneth Clark's work, right? And the thing is that because they didn't like the tone of it, which they're saying that the black community is a matriarchy, which it is, and they still don't want to admit to it, and they want to hide this stuff and bury this stuff. They refuse to actually look at what the real source of the real problem is. I got cancer, but the thing is, we're gonna keep treating this like this is the flu. Okay, no, you got to treat the damn cancer. Okay, but they refuse to do it. Basically, at this point, I'm gonna tell you, man, the black manosphere is showing that the young black men don't want to talk anymore, right? Okay, either you're going to put up or you're going to shut up. There is no more talking. There is no more conversation, right? Either you're going to change your behavior to make this stuff work because you refuse to have the conversation for 53 years. Why you want to talk now?
Yeah. And look, so black men are frustrated. I'm going to tell you, black men are frustrated.
Absolutely. Right? I'm frustrated too. I'm not going to say I'm not.
So the first point of frustration is, okay, we feel like we're being gaslit by, the whole girl boss feminist movement that we see taking place, between the mid 60s to now. And its culmination is, intersectional feminism and Black Lives Matter and shit like that. You already had a discussion about that earlier on this show. Okay, but here's the deal. So they utilize intersectional feminism to demonstrate that they're subjected to double jeopardy as it pertains to oppression. They get female oppression in conjunction with racial oppression, which means that, they have it twice as bad as we got it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the numbers, the data on what's actually happening, you see something entirely different, which belies the theory. And, I'm an academic, so I know the first thing you do when you develop a theory is you're supposed to falsify it. Okay, I mean, that's just methodology. Okay,
right.
You hypothesize, you try to find ways in which the hypothesization misses the mark, and if it can withstand the scrutiny of falsification, you tentatively assert that it's a plausible explanation for a phenomena or whatever the case may be, and you try to either improve upon it, over time and develop more explanations with other forms of hypothesization, or you discard it because it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, right? But what's happening is people are starting off with political philosophy and they marry themselves to ideology predicated upon that philosophy, and they allow no room for falsification at all. They just look for confirmation of their political philosophy. Like, well, I got it twice as hard. And, lady, look, we already know from genocide studies, man, which has been, it's based on empirical data and history. Any group of people, man, who conquered another or enslaved or colonized another group of people, they killed the men first.
Yes, they did.
And they enculturate the women. Okay? But black men are supposed to believe that the inverse is happening. And niggas is tired of having to be gaslit and basically accept what we know to be some bullshit. And look, I love women as well. Look, I love my mama. I watched her take her last breath. I got two girls. Love them to fucking death. You know what I'm saying? So, it ain't like I don't care. But, come on, let's just keep it a buck, bro.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck. Yes, sir.
I'm not going to put on a front to make motherfuckers feel good when we dealing with triage here, man. This is some real shit we dealing with. And we have to be honest with each other. But the whole point is, and I've noticed this, even in the academy, we can't have the conversation because they won't talk to us.
Okay.
They refuse, even in the academy. Black feminists refuse to have a conversation with us, bro. They like, fuck the conversation. We got the mic. We got the venue. It's like, like we got the mic right now. We'll give it to you when we done with this motherfucker. When we drop it, you can pick it up, but it's gonna be all fucked up by the time you pick it up.
Okay.
So they got a cadre of white people. They got a cadre of government officials and shit like that. Why do you think, for example, Maxine Waters met with Megan Thee Stallion and shit, and now you got fucking Maxine Waters talking about WAP, my wet ass pussy? How empowering that is to women and shit.
Publicly.
Why would you have, why is Cardi B meeting with Joe Biden and shit?
Publicly. Like my brother said.
When has Tupac ever visited with a motherfucking politician, bro? Or Biggie Smalls or some shit?
Never.
Now, Jay-Z might have met with motherfucking, Bill Clinton. But come on, bro. Let's just be honest, man.
Okay.
Jay-Z never
did it.
Never publicly had a meeting with Jay-Z and asked him, what do you want politically?
Right. Never did it. Never did it. Never did.
But you gonna ask Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B?
Brother, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna ask you brothers and everybody in the audience a question. Do we want our race, our people to advance to where we can be independent and do for ourselves? Yes or no? I would say
who's we?
Us, black men.
Okay.
Us right here us right here in the discussion. Do we want the progression of our people so that we can do for self and do for our people? I would venture to say, and I don't want to speak for you brothers, I would venture to say yes.
At what cost?
Huh?
At what cost?
Well, the thing about it is, the one thing that it's going to cost is going to cost time. And sometimes you may lose some people because you're gonna lose some people. But the ones that are willing, those are the ones that we seek out, and those are the ones. If the ones want to stay there and be with Black Lives Matter and all that other kind of stuff, if they want to do that, let them do it.
Okay, I always ask this question: how much time do you think it's going to take,
brother? As well, and for me,
generations.
It shouldn't
take how long you think it's going to take?
Well, for me, it should take as long as it takes.
Okay. Do it now. The second.
Hold on, let me finish, brother. Let me finish, brother. Let me finish.
Okay.
The thing about it is, if somebody's willing, remember what I said. You X out the people that ain't willing. Okay. For somebody that's willing, it shouldn't take that long.
What percentage is that that's willing, and what percentage would you need to accelerate that time?
For me, in my opinion, one can inspire change, but 100% of one person, I mean dedication to the change,
okay,
can fix it. You understand what I'm saying?
So one person can fix it. One person dedicated to the change can fix it. That's what you're saying.
One person can inspire the mind of change. Yes, sir.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, the thing is, over history doesn't prove that to be the case. Okay. Because
the most honorable Elijah Muhammad did.
No, he didn't. Because what did it change?
It changed me, brother.
It changed you, but thing is, did it change the condition of black people as a whole?
In general.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I would not venture to say that. But what I will say, hold on, brother. What I will say,
I want you to clarify, because we're not understanding. What's your point? What's your ultimate point?
My ultimate point is unite with those who want to unite with you, meaning the black women because there are black women that buy into unity with you. Unite with those who want to unite with you, and you progress with those. Leave them where they at.
Okay.
I can't. I don't know. I know black women that think like the Megan Thee Stallions, but I also know black women that are like, hey, brother, let's fix this together.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is the mix? What is the mix of those that are willing, those that are dedicated, the I want to call it the down bitches, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
fit community versus the ones that aren't?
What is the who?
What's the mix? In other words, what's the proportion?
Well, see, I don't, I don't have,
What do
I
you,
don't
what do
have
you
that
think?
wisdom, brother. I don't have that wisdom, brother.
Yeah.
I don't have
Okay.
that wisdom. I
Okay.
can't, I'm not gonna go out on a limb like that, brother.
We've been studying this for a long time. Okay. The
Yes,
thing
sir.
is, when I asked you, what said how long it's going to take, right? Because because I hear this all the time, right? Because I'm a black nationalist. I've been that way for the last 30, 40 years, right? I still work in the
Yes, sir.
community. I still
Yes,
do.
sir.
If I told you my name, I told you my mentor, you can look her up and know that I've been in this space for longer than I've been on YouTube, right? I know
Yes,
what's
sir.
going on behind the scenes, right? The thing is that black people, nationalists, because I believe you're a nationalist, you sound like one, right?
Yes, sir.
Believe that this is a freaking level playing field, and that black people have no outside influence, right? You have integration culture that's impacting on you. You have
Mm-hmm.
the decay of the United States is impacting on you. You got academia, just like Gigi was saying, teaching your children, okay,
Mm-hmm.
indoctrinating your children. That's against it. This is not a level playing field. So basically, if black people are actually going to fight this level of people of color that's coming up, that's being pushed by not only the government, but also institutions and everybody else that's doing this, right? If you want to survive this, you don't have that much time. You got maybe one generation to actually get out of this, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
you have to make a major push, and you got to start now. If you're not willing to start now, basically
It's over.
it's over. Okay. Now, if you can have some kind of plan to convince black men, especially black men, if black men don't buy into this, basically it's done already, and they don't seem to be reversing their fields, actually cooperate with you. They're still on this black girl magic, black girl power, and it may
Mm-hmm.
take another generation when they be off of it. But by that time, it's too late. Passport Bros, SYSBM is a signal that black men have had it. They're willing to go someplace else. They're tired of waiting on them, or tired of talking to them, because you're not listening. You don't want to change. You keep after COVID, black women came back to the table to talk, and guess what they came back with?
What they come back with, brother?
The same stuff they've been talking about for the last 50 years. Okay, the pro blacks, Dr. Umar and the other nationalists come back with at least they're being honest, right? Look,
Yes,
you
sir.
want to say the black community, guess what you're gonna have to do? You have to fall on this sword, and you're not gonna get nothing out of it. That's what they're telling men, and especially young men. You're going to have to sacrifice another 2 generations to save this community, and don't expect any kind of reward, happiness, or anything like that, because these women are screwed up. They're going to remain screwed up, and basically we can't talk to them. If that's the case, okay, well then tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the Z's aren't going to do that.
Let them know just like the Ukrainian soldiers, right? You going in there to die. The odds you survive it are practically nil, but you have to do it anyway. Go ahead. I'll mute.
No, you don't mute. But I mean, look, here's my thing, right? My brother here, man, he's a member of the Nation of Islam.
He is, yeah.
So he's a police officer. I primarily brought him here to talk about, Tyree Nichols. So that's what we spent the first portion of the conversation on.
Yeah.
Then we started, going into miscellaneous conversations about, the shorts that exist out there on YouTube at the current moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, all I'm trying to do is say this, right? This guy knows me, in real life, and knows that, I primarily think as a black nationalist myself, okay? But here's the issue. Like you said, white folks, man, got a plan for America. Whether black folks like it or not, they have psychological operations. They got counterinsurgency operations. They already had COINTELPRO and all that shit. They know how to fuck with the black population. They know how to keep us balkanized and divided. They know how to do that, okay? Now, the information on how they do this is out there. You could Google this shit, and they'll give you information on how, the Western population, or governors and military operants and all of this, how they fucking divide and conquer and issue psychological operations to what they consider to be enemy combatants. And it ain't always just physical. It's
psychological.
It's ethical, media, propaganda. I mean, it's a whole bunch of tools and devices that they use in order to, appropriate a culture. Like to stymie what they consider to be something dangerous, or to stem the tide against what might be a spark of rebellion. They know how to do that shit. Okay, black people, man, had an option in the 70s, man. Because in the I think it was 72, they had the Black National Convention. Right. I think that's the year that it was, right? A year after I was born. Right. And everybody black was like, black nationalism. We need to get our shit together. We need to unite and figure out a way to develop a cohesive politics amongst our demographic. And it was black men and black women, and they seemed like they had the spirit, to carry out the ideal. But then guess what happened? You get second wave feminism. You get, like the welfare state bearing down, the police state bearing down on black folks. And so the welfare state is not just, EBT cards and checks and shit like that. It's a cadre of social service workers who paternalize, like oversee the lives of single parent families and shit like that, and determine, and circumscribe their actions. They prescribe certain actions and proscribe others. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they control the educational system. They control the media. Okay, so like black folks, man, are dealing with a bombardment of ideology that there's no way to escape from. It's like being exposed to a fucking meteor shower and it ain't nowhere to turn. And so and then you ask yourself, like, okay, well, what do we do? How do we shift things up? How do we change it? And it would seem like the most simplistic thing would be love, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you would think that would be it. But in the context of a society that has pitted men against women over the most superficial bullshit, what can you do now? I mean, BGS and I have gone over this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the vast majority of people believe that America, by and large, is a patriarchy, okay? Where men run it, okay? And I say, well, men run what? Now, do they run the government? Yeah. Okay, do they run the military? Yeah. Do they run the educational system? No. Are they in control of the legal system? Well, all depends. What part of the legal system are you looking at? Like, for example, patriarchy in the social sphere of America does not exist. The court, the empire of the father has been replaced by the empire of the court system. They determine what the fuck happens to kids, who gets custody, and what the kids are doing and what they ain't doing. That's just the facts. So all this patriarchy shit, but the women keep screaming, it's just a way to keep us divided. But if you're a woman and you got control of the family, you got benefits coming to you and you have power. Absolute power over the lives of children. And unfortunately, man, women ain't about to just give that shit up. They're not giving it up. It's too much power. You know what I'm saying? So they de facto are the head of the black family. But here's the issue though. By them being the head of the family without having men present, dysfunction happens with the children. But they don't give a fuck. They don't care about it. They like, fuck you, nigga. I can do bad by myself. Okay. Well, you know what? Not only are you gonna do bad by yourself, but your fucking kids gonna do bad by yourself. And it's just been proven. They knew this shit. They knew it back in the fucking 60s. Okay? They knew it in the 70s. And they didn't want to heal it and the way to heal it is to actually lift black men up. That's the only way to heal this problem. But unfortunately, every proposal that you have to lift black men up, it interferes with what? Title VII, which white women hijack. It interferes with Title VIII, which guarantees women the right in sports and shit. Title IX. So like, remember when Obama proposed my brother's keeper and shit? The first thing that happened was trans white women, feminists, black women, they always like, no, my brother's keeper.
Correct.
Yeah.
As soon as you try to develop a program to help, because let me explain why black men being upwardly mobile is an issue. First of all, black women don't want to marry broke niggas.
No.
They don't
That's a
want
fact,
to.
brother. That's a fact.
Women basically are saying, if you don't make as much money as I got or more, I ain't fucking with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that's just, I mean, you can go do there are papers written by scholars who know this shit. They're like, a woman is like, they're hypergamous, meaning they marry up, not down.
Yeah.
A man, he'll marry any goddamn body. Long as she got a fat ass, especially a black dude, she got a fat ass and a cute face, he going with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's gotten me in trouble, brother. That's gotten me in trouble, brother. So.
Man, it got me a fat ass and thick thighs, man. It's kryptonite. It's alluring, but it's poison. It's like the BBD song, man. Don't trust a big fat ass and a smile.
But the backwards thing is, if black women don't want to marry a broke dude, don't want to marry a dude that doesn't have resources or not capable, right? How come you actually keep producing men that are compromised?
Bingo.
You keep producing men are the exact opposite of what it is you say you want, and any opportunity that the black male gets, or any like light or cracker light that exists, you there to try to fucking close the light off.
The very first all male public school in 1991 was killed by black women in Detroit. Killed because black women weren't included. The thing that can fix black men and black boys, women fight against, because at the end of the day, they don't want black men to have control of the black family. There was the same thing in after emancipation. Same thing in 1964. They said it. We played tape where they said it out of their own mouths. They don't want black men.
And black women said this, brother.
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir.
What is the journal?
Look at the actions.
What does the journal Truth say back in the 1850s? What did she say? If black men get the vote, they'll be in control, and they'll be just as bad as white men. They'll be just as bad as before, because they're going to want to have patriarchal power like white men. They didn't want that. Okay, they said the same thing in the 1960s, 1970s. They don't want that.
So Journal Truth is like a precursor to black feminism. Okay, like and then like the Combahee River Collective is a document written in 1974 by a group of black lesbian feminists, and it pretty much echoes and borrows from Sojourner Truth's idea that like we need to smash the patriarchy. Like black men they're abusive and they're ignorant, and if you give them power, they'll abuse it and they'll be oppressive and dominating. So it's better to be under the control of white women than it is to be under the control of black men, because at least white women have intelligence, whereas niggas. It's fucked up, but I mean, this is this is just the truth about some of the things that were said, because I mean, quite frankly, the suffragettes, the first wave feminists, I mean, they were all for emancipation and shit like that until it came time for black men to actually get the vote.
Yeah.
And then white women weren't able to, be included in the franchise along with them at the time. And the first thing they referred to was how backward and how ignorant and uncivilized Negroes were.
Yeah,
and how civilized white women were. Okay?
In 1964, what did that Congresswoman say why they included sex in 1964 Civil Rights Bill? They didn't want black women, black people, to have rights that white women didn't have.
But my only thing is, but my only problem with black women today is some of them understand. But even when they understand, they don't say shit. They just kind of like sit back and be quiet, like you was talking about in that Facebook post that you wrote a long time ago. Like they don't check each other.
No.
They don't get each other on code. Like you used to see, like there was a woman, man, that I used to show all the time. What was her name, man? Brenda Werner. I used to show her videos all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like any chance I could get, I would show a Brenda Werner clip. Because to me, Brenda Werner was like, look, feminism don't really apply to black people. You know, like it doesn't apply between the relationship between black and men and women.
That's true.
Now, it does apply to white men and white women, but not really, because when you think about it, and you know, my whole viewpoint on it is this. White women ain't never been missing meals and shit. White women have never been treated like black people. Never. And they never will be treated like black people. White women, that's why every time I get an opportunity, I show these clips. And I say, where is it, did you see white women that look like they under stress and fucking duress? Where? I'm just like I ask people, like, when did you see these chicks under stress and duress? For real. Like they look like they living their best life to me. I mean, you know, they look like do these motherfuckers look like they are just fucking hurting for meals and like they dirty and they ain't got a place to be? Yeah. They look like they dressed to the nines, and they just as fervently racist as any white dude ever was.
Yeah,
Privilege.
a Kunjufu man talked about the plight of black boys back in the freaking 80s, 40 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, my mama showed me that book.
And in other words, 40 years ago, black women have, especially black nationalists, they've known this for 40 years. What have they done in 40 years? What? What have they done?
And this is why, that's why every time I get the opportunity, like I'll show it again. Let me go to it. YouTube. I'll go to it. Let me get to my own page. Your channel. And I got it. It's on the Shorts channel. And I say, here's Brenda Verner. Hold on, let me get to it. Share the screen.
And I don't mean to be so upset your panel like this, Gigi. But
no, you good, man.
At some point, man, it's like I understand my nationalist brother, because you guys are leading with your heart and not with your head, and that's the problem I'm seeing.
Well, no, I'm leading with my head, brother. I'm leading with both.
Okay. Well,
you gotta lead. You gotta lead with both.
But
because
I don't see it though.
I mean, I understand that you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But the one thing I'm taught is that the eye beholds everything but itself. So if the eye beholds everything but itself, I gotta look inward before I look outward. So the biggest thing is that we got to figure out this slave mentality that we have, and each one of us change it, and then project change out to people that look like us.
You don't have that kind of time. You don't have that kind of time anymore.
Nah. Exactly.
I mean that's relative. That's relative. You know what I'm saying?
Factual.
No, it's actual. I wish that was the case. We've had since the 1950s to work on this, man, and
yes,
this is like 70 years, man. The time's up, man, because even for the white people, time's up, man. What do you think why they're arresting Andrew Tate? Time is up for this, okay? You know, in fact, I've heard guys in the UK talking about the swing toward feminism. It was swung too far. Why do you think they're arresting Andrew Tate? Because this stuff is swung too far. And black men are at the bottom of all this, that kind of stuff. And nobody wants to talk about this.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. I will believe that. I will believe that. We are at the bottom of it. I do believe that.
And me and Gigi, Gigi agrees with me. You know, but the thing is, environment determines culture, not the other way around. We keep getting it backwards. When your environment changes, your culture is going to change. Feminism could not have arisen without the Industrial Revolution. Would not have happened. The environment changed the way people interact. It always does. It's getting ready to change again. We have to. If we don't do this now, we'll never be able to do this.
It's over because technology has accelerated everything.
Yes.
This is what I think we need to get together, right?
Go ahead.
So I believe that there is hope, but the hope is not looking good. Okay, like you know, a Hail Mary could be thrown.
Hey, you sound like Dr. Strange with that one finger in the air.
Okay, so let me Dormammu, okay, so look, peep the game though. So here it is, right? people got to understand, like the entire culture of the West is at stake here. So these motherfuckers can play around with this if they want to. They can. And look, what's happening to black people is just like a symptom of a greater problem that's happening, you know, all across the board. Too much involvement of bureaucracy and too much involvement of paternalistic ideologues into the lives of regular people, man. And look, family has been the cornerstone of every culture throughout the entirety of time. Okay? So there's a lot working in behalf of the family, but this capitalist structure has done everything to fucking rip it apart, man, in service of itself. Okay? Now the question is, how long can a system sustain itself that would go after something as basic as the family itself, which is the basic unit of care? How long can a technologically advanced civilization work against hundreds of thousands of years of evolutionary biology, bro? So there is hope. You went over, so we've gone over a whole bunch of shit. We've gone over the Empire of the Father and how it fell by the Court of Chancery. Right. We've gone over the industrial, the Industrial Revolution and how it disrupted and exploded social networks and social arrangements, familial, even like geographical, and it changed the way people reside together. So they moved away from the countrysides and they moved to the urban metropolises and shit like that. Okay, all based on industry. We talk, even war contributed to this, because like you wouldn't even have a feminist movement, second wave, if it wasn't for the Second World War. It wouldn't fucking exist if women didn't work by themselves. True. Like if there wasn't a Rosie the Riveter, you wouldn't have had second wave feminism. It just wouldn't have came into being. Okay?
Not as quickly. Yeah, that's true.
So, but it was very virulent in the United States, and it was pushed along though by corporate forces. I believe the CIA, because capitalism was at war with socialism. So anything they could do to push the corporate monster along, they're gonna fucking do it. And they're gonna, if they can get corporations to work to pay, like cheaper wages by an influx of labor, and if it required women to be in it, fuck it, so be it. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, and me and Nameless has done this over the past 3-4 years. As the labor participation rate of women go up, guess what goes down?
Marriage, childbirth,
marriage, all those different things that hold a family together go down
around the world.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is, right? And this is what the Mouse Utopia demonstrates: that if you want to see your society sustain itself, then what you're gonna have to have policies that hold families together, not work to destroy them, not work, not work to dissolve them. And this country and the corporate structure is doing everything it can. And the court system itself is doing everything it can to disrupt family structure.
And put on top of that, this is something that Clark talked about it, Frazier talked about it, even Du Bois talked about it, right? Because of the implementation of the matriarchy through slavery, right? And then even carried into Jim Crow, okay? The black women never saw themselves as really as partner to the black man.
Correct.
Only out of necessity. And as soon as she could actually separate from that man, guess what she did? She bolted. She took off.
And the catch-22 is for you to get. How do you get a seat at the table without having a solid family?
I mean, the thing is, do the black women see black men as part of the family? And that's been the question over the last 50 years. And even feminists, look at BLM. How did they see families? Women and children.
As extended networks of villages where, like single moms could band together and shit.
Yes.
This is the truth. I mean, like, no disrespect, but it's become so pervasive. The question is whether or not there could be a counter-revolutionary culture. And I think that, the people on the right want that, but like, it's weird that you got black men now clinging to the right with social issues, given the dismal history of race in the United States. It's like, what the fuck do you pick? You pick a whole bunch of weirdos on the left who telling you chicks with dicks are real women, or do you pick you know, like the racist conservative who's like, I love traditional family values. It's like, and black men are standing in between this lunacy. Like,
exactly.
And they're like, I got to get away from this shit. I'm getting lynched.
But
I'm
that's
getting
just how
killed.
bad it is, GG.
Yeah. Man, black guys in the United States. So guys in the United States are damn. We might need to just say fuck the United States and repatriate to other places where there's more black people.
That's what they're saying now. That's the whole thing about passport bros is that that's the indication that black men have literally thrown in the towel. Okay, you know, forget it. It's the start of that counter revolution, like Dr. Johnson said, the masculine's turn. Okay, you want to be free, you want to be separate, you want to be independent. Guess what, baby? Go and be happy. You know,
and you get this one life, and I can tell you right now, my nephew's generation Z's, they're not the black boys.
Yeah,
even the ones that don't even know about Andrew Tate, they're not fucking around with these girls at all. Like a lot of people don't see this. I see it regularly.
But we were raised. Look, I'm telling you right now, I was raised to accept single motherhood shit. Like if she got a baby or two, fuck it, we still gonna work it out.
I would just
These young kids is like, man, she got babies and shit. Nigga, fuck these chicks. I mean, you still there, Loco?
I mean, how you gonna try?
Loco, you still there?
I think he's still there. He's muted. He might have walked.
Loco checked out. Yeah, he like shit. Fuck this shit.
No, I'm here, brother. No, I'm here, brother. I'm here. I ain't checked out. I'm here. I'm here, brother.
Just let me. I just want to know if you're still in the building.
And I've said this to all my nationalist brothers, right? Give me something that I can sell to these guys, man. Don't just give me this. You know, you just have to do it. Give me something. Give me a deal that I can bring to these young men and say, hey, man, this is the deal. Okay, you come back, you put your shoulder to the grindstone, your nose to the grindstone, shoulder to the wheel. This is what you're gonna get on the opposite side. Nobody's saying that. Just say throw yourself in the battle, get shot, sacrifice yourself, and hopefully you get some platitudes, you know, by and by, and you know, a couple generations.
Nope.
Is that what you're selling?
So look at what Brenda Verner had to say about the shit, because she already knew. She said we're in trouble, but she said this shit. She said that shit 40 years ago.
Yeah,
this is 40 years ago. She said this.
Miss Brenda.
You see, the word sexism was created to replace the word racism. Women's studies was created to replace black studies. You see, and now they've raised up black feminists to replace the real sister.
Wow.
And so look, I think that there's some real sisters out here, but I think that the culture at large has become so pro-left. And I'm not talking about pro-left in terms of political economy and the improvement of like racial relations. I think it's become left in regards to talking about everything else other than race outside of the context of sex and gender. So if it comes to women or if it comes to gay shit, hey, the left is pro-it. When it comes to trans motherfuckers, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. When it comes into talking about alleviating class divisions, or when it comes to helping like black men in general or any other kind of men, fuck that shit. No. Come to helping like some gay motherfuckers, or you know, like some immigrant shit, like from something that ain't got nothing to do with Negroes. They're all into it. Everybody's all for it. And when it comes to representation, everybody's all for it. As soon as you start talking about reparations or anything, no.
You're crazy.
No. Even though white folks know that it's going to require some sort of reparative effort in order to deal with the injustices that they've caused. They already know this shit, but instead of dealing with it, they rather deal with everything under the bus. Instead of letting black men have families, and because what white people got was FHA loans. When they were broke and shit and was living in the urban environments and shit, the government was like, okay, guess what? We're going to give you federal subsidized loans, and you can buy homes for as cheap as you were able to buy, you know, like pay rent. And it basically, because most people's wealth in the United States is based around real estate, right?
Yep.
So they basically subsidized and gave them wealth. Not just, like a handout from a mother's pensions program that was revamped to deal with, like triage or some shit like that. The government actively subsidized white suburban life. They could do the same shit for black folks. Now, they could have done it simultaneously when they were doing it for white folks, but of course they couldn't do that because that would be too much like right. You understand what I'm saying? So, they had all kinds of restrictive covenants and, they were redlining and doing all kind of other unsavory shit in order to, disenfranchise black folks. But all of this shit could have been nipped in the bud 150 years ago, but white people fucking refused to do it. And the question is, if they refused to do it then,
why would they do it now?
In the 60s, they refused to do anything about it. Why all of a sudden would they turn around now and do what the fuck they know they need to do in order to resolve the issues?
I think we're asking the devil not to be a devil.
Exactly.
Okay. Well then let's leave the devil alone and let's do for ourselves. And the only way to do for ourselves, brother, and I know y'all probably not going to agree with me, is be that which you want somebody else to be. You be the change for the black woman. You be the change for your children. You be the change for you. You be that. That's what and I'm sure y'all necessarily don't. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all disagree with me. I want to say you guys just don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah,
but
how do you acquire that when billions of dollars, billions annually, are the contrary to that, and you have one of the smallest populations in the country?
You say what? You say how do you acquire that, brother? You gotta. I'm a simple man, man.
How do you counter the billions of dollars that are put into basically, influencing society from the dominant society? How do you become a player on the table when you have the second smallest population in the country? How?
I believe it starts with a conversation with somebody who wants to have a conversation with you with this, because there are black women who think like you think. There are black women who think like GG thinks. There are black women who think like my other brother thinks that's on the line. And there are black women that think how I think, who see the bullshit. You have those conversations with them. You have conversations with people who want to build, not with people who want to destroy. Because it's either build or destroy. There is no in between. If you're not building, you're destroying. And I think it's incumbent upon us to build. We're taught that you do as right or be as right as you can. You're only held accountable. GG, you only held accountable by what you do. I'm only held accountable by what I do. I gotta be the change I want. I gotta be the change I want my black woman to be. And like I said, I gotta be that.
Can I ask you something, Logo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Look, I'm a first responder too.
Yes, sir.
I work in a city predominantly 80%. And what drove me to the manosphere was what I was seeing, right?
Yes, sir.
So the manosphere helped me understand and rationalize the chaos I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? As a person who goes, and you know this first well, as an officer, I'm a medic, so I'm going to people's homes.
Brother. Yeah.
So I'm seeing stuff, and I'm trying to justify what I'm seeing, man. I'm not seeing a connection. I'm working and talking to people I can't even relate to, man. It's crazy, bro.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. You know, I was talking to one of my brothers in the nation, and he was telling me, he said, I can't imagine what you see every night. I can't imagine what paramedics and firemen and everything, the black firemen, the black policemen, the black paramedic. I can't imagine what you see every night, because you literally go in the belly of the beast. And You see sick people, but they're mentally sick.
Yes.
But the thing, but I'm gonna tell you, the thing that holds me bound is the fact that conversations like this on here that give me a sense of constructive hope, not Obama hope, but constructive hope.
Right.
Okay, to where I can have a conversation with each one of y'all, and I guarantee I can find common ground with each one of y'all, and we could build. I know I can. I know I can. How I know I can is because I have conversations with my brother Gigi all the time that we end up building. There have been times he's called me and I go and I build with the brother. I've never destroyed with that black man. Never destroyed. I've always built. And conversations like this is what I cling to. This is what I cling to. Each one of y'all brothers got it. We all got it, man. All I'm asking, all I'm just saying is, man, if give it one more shot, brothers.
You know what? Look, let me just say this. First of all, I want to say this. You know, Herb Saint is from New Orleans, and you know, Loco went to Xavier, same school I went to. He graduated from Xavier University too. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got something in common. You got the Big Easy in common anyway. But
yes, sir.
Look, here's my thing, right? Brothers are seeing, like, you know, women being real nasty and ignorant and shit, bro. Like saying shit like, you know, I don't have, like, being in a relationship is like serving, and I don't want to be a servant. You know, they're seeing, like, I could pull up, like, you know, various like just various stuck up shit that these chicks are saying. It's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, it's like men are getting to the point where it's like there's nothing there for them to latch on to because everything has been made transactional. There's no substance in a relationship anymore beyond utility and hedonism. Now, if hedonism and utility are the only things that you can derive from a relationship, then you don't understand what the context of a relationship is to begin with. Now, that goes for men and for women. It's not just women. It goes for men and women. But one thing I know, if your relationship is only based on pleasure, then as soon as things get difficult, that relationship will dissolve. Okay?
Correct.
If the relationship is based on utility, as soon as you can't do something for that other individual or you go through a rough patch, that relationship is dissolved. Okay? But true relationships, which, you know, I ain't gonna get into the, you know, I'm not opening the vise up or nothing, but I mean, it can be articulated in various ways. It get, like, the whole point is, if you are a real friend to somebody, their successes are things that you also feel like are achievements for yourself because you see yourself as connected through the relationship. So when they do good, you see yourself as doing good. And when you do good, they see you as they see themselves as doing good because you're reflected through the individual. So, like, there's no jealousy. Like, if I'm eating at Hooters, my chick ain't gonna, if she see me eating at Hooters, the last thing she gonna come do is fucking yank my collar and shit. She gonna be like, damn, what's up? You at Hooters eating shit? Let's sit down. Give me a burger, goddammit, and some wings. What's cracking? Or give me a daiquiri and some wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, it's been a hard day for you. Cause that dude probably left and went to Hooters because his wife bitching him to fucking death in the crib. So he probably sought some solace for himself for a little minute so he can get himself together in order to deal with the shit that he had to deal with in the crib. That's probably why he was at Hooters to begin with. But instead of giving him that little fucking time, at least women back when we were young, nigga, I know the shit has changed from when we were younger. Because niggas still believed in love and women still had an idea about cooking for you and being respectful to some degree. Nowadays, these chicks is like, I ain't doing shit for your ass.
Yep. Mr. GG, can I say one thing?
You go ahead.
Speaking about that,
well, speak about it. Okay, well, don't speak about it. Anybody else?
Yeah, can I say something? It's T Fitness.
Yeah, go ahead, man. T Fitness, what's happening, Teration?
What's up, brother? Listen, everyone on here knows by now that I love the Nation of Islam. And I have to agree with BGS, even when we talk about the fact that at the end of the day, even the brothers in the nation, have to adhere to a gynocracy that is, we're at the behest, or brothers are at the behest of what the sisters are going to do. So, in terms of the brother keeps saying do for self, that has been the philosophy for the nation for almost a century right now. And as a small, being that a small group that has not had mass appeal, but what has had mass appeal was the things that have taken over, like when Gigi, I keep saying this, when Dr. Gigi wrote the Combahee River Collective, the river and my mind opened up, and I'm like, wow, now I see where all of this stuff had been headed, from people at the very top that have been carrying on the work of not just feminists, but racists that were anti-black male, misandrous people, to spread from the academy, which I am a proud college graduate, all the way down to the hood. And many of us have always been the change that we want to see in ourselves. But a lot of times, the honest answer is a lot of the greed, wanting everything handed to you without facing any consequences has been one of the biggest problems within our community. But another thing has been brothers are not really listening to the struggles of other brothers, and they keep coming with shop-worn, old solutions. And like BGS said, you got cancer, but you guys are handing out cold and flu medication.
And wait, sir, I was going to say one thing before my phone dies. It was just like the whole thing I was asking about the paternity fraud stuff is just the fact that it gotten so bad out here that when I asked that question to a family friend of mine in front of her own son, it's a one syllable answer. Is paternity fraud wrong? She couldn't even answer it. She won't answer it, and she turned out saying, "Oh, what about the woman? How did she get pregnant?" And it's a gift for the man to have the baby. Like, what type of fucker? And she got upset at me, like, raise your voice. Like, why should I raise my voice when you're even telling your own son to go out there and raise? Like, I gave a whole scenario about 18 years raising a kid and all that stuff, and she still didn't want to answer any of the questions. Just look like a total fool in front of her son and me, and try to laugh it off and be do the sign language shit on me. But my phone is about to die, so I just wanted to say that.
It's to the tune of 30. It's to the tune of 30% in this country.
And I was talking about Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. It's 70%.
Oh, it's high.
And yes, it's 70% out there.
You guys are like number one or two in the country, in the world.
Bruh. And she can't. And she's trying to defend it. She's saying it's a blessing.
Oh, of course, they always say it's a blessing. Any child's a blessing, no matter how the child got here.
But I'm about to get off. My phone's about to die real quick.
All right, I'll holler at you. So look, here's the deal, right? I get my brother Loco, you know what I'm saying? I understand, you know what I'm saying? Because he's me 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we need the conversation, right? But now I'm convinced that I don't think that these people are gonna have a conversation, because the reason being is because the system works to their advantage. And it not actually to their advantage in the long run, but in a prima facie, first glance, superficial kind of way, it works to serve some sort of a more proper interest, which is a vanity or a glamour interest. And, it gives them tentative control over the family and a sense of negative liberty, which I think, in my humble opinion, negative liberty by itself is not enough to procure well-being. It's the pretext in which you can make yourself a slave to a habit, a practice, or an ethos that makes you better in the long run, and where you can, display or exhibit mastery. But just, being able to do whatever you want to do and not to have any kind of rules or any tradition or any value system circumscribe your actions. I mean, there's no ancient tradition which upholds that as a valuable system. Read for me anywhere in history where a group of people wantonly doing whatever they want to do without any discipline, no circumspection, no value system that, basically impinges upon you, some kind of constraint or restraint. There's no history of any group of people who have risen to develop an evolved civilization that has that viewpoint. It doesn't fucking exist. Okay, so and also, like, I want to respond to this claim, like BGS is always forcing this anti-black woman agenda. Look, it sounds anti-black woman, it does, but I'm gonna tell you why it does. Because we've become so indoctrinated to anti-black male agendas that anything that's pro-black male is going to sound anti-black woman. It's going to automatically sound as if you're bashing black women.
Correct.
Hey, Gigi, I got a question. Who is BJ, BL? Who is that? I don't know these acronyms. Who are them people?
Who is who? BGS?
Yeah, I don't know who BGS is. I don't know what that shit is. I'm gonna be real with you.
Is this who is this talking to me?
It's Loco, brother.
Oh, BGS is the older guy who was here earlier.
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Okay.
With the lightsaber, the older guy who was here.
Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So look, we in a fraternity of men. Okay, me and you, right? And
yes, sir.
one of the unwritten rules of our fraternity is respect for womanhood, right?
Yes, sir.
But here's the deal. What if you got women who are telling you shit like this? Just for example, like just for argument's sake, let me stop sharing this shit. What if women are saying shit like this to you? Like, how are you supposed to respect that shit? Like, I get there's an unwritten rule that you're supposed to respect women, but like respect is a reciprocal action, bro. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you review, you respectate. You come to view again and again and again the dignity in the other person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm just exploring the etymological roots of the term. To revision, to see somebody in a certain light again and again and again, right? But what happens when you got women that's like this? Oh shit, you can't even fucking hear it. Let me start over.
Required to clean up after you. I'm not required to cook for you. I'm not required to do anything.
So let me get this straight.
I ain't required to cook for you. I ain't required to clean for you. I am not required to do anything for you.
Those are the same women that are asking you to change their tire.
The problem is, look, the nature of a relationship is for the two, like especially a marriage, okay? I can't talk about cohabitation and all of that shit. But if you marry somebody, the traditional rules associated with it are the two are to become one flesh. Right? So how can you not do something? It's like being on a team with a motherfucker saying, I'm not gonna do nothing for my team member. Can you imagine playing basketball and a motherfucker like, I'm not helping you defend, I'm not helping you pass, nigga, I'm not helping you motherfucking get over the court. If you get trapped, nigga, you on your own.
Gigi, I think we've gotten to the point, bruh. I think we've gotten to the point where we've grown tired of doing the right thing. I'm not saying the right thing was easy. I just said the right thing was to unite. It's not going to be easy to fix this problem. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. But this is my only thing is this. Men and women both have to understand that, look, if a relationship requires integrity and sincerity, if there is no integrity or sincerity there, there's nothing there. So, and then also, if you have the viewpoint that doing something from your heterosexual partner, because see, gay motherfuckers ain't got this issue. Do you hear gay motherfuckers saying, I ain't gonna do nothing for my partner?
Nope.
Like, I'm not cooking for that motherfucker, I'm not cleaning, I ain't doing nothing for my gay ass partner. Do you hear that stupid shit being said by them?
Hey, brother, I try to stay out there stuff, brother. That's stay here.
Look, I'm just saying, but the only reason I'm saying this is because they have basically appropriated the culture of marriage in such a way that they don't even have the same, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have the same kind of problems to a certain extent, right? But they don't have a problem in terms of thinking that the relationship is supposed to be reciprocal. Only heterosexual motherfuckers have this issue that a relationship is supposed to be a woman receiving everything and a man doing everything and the woman don't have to do a goddamn thing at all. Like when has a relationship ever been such that there's no reciprocation in it at all? How are you to maintain, like if you're my friend, like even if it's just male on male friendships, how can you sustain a male on male friendship, no homo, without there being reciprocity within it? So that means, okay, if I come over your house and you cook for, you cook for me or your wife cook for me or your girl or whatever the case may be, or you buy the beers and shit, you know what the set out is. Imagine a motherfucker, all he do is go to the bruh functions and the grooves and shit, and he never, ever sets anything out.
He wouldn't be invited to the set out.
He ain't invited to the set out. This nigga, he eating chicken. He always got a beer in his hand, but he ain't never got no raw chicken. At least, nigga, if you can't buy the chicken, you gonna cook the chicken. You understand what I'm saying? At least if you can't buy the beer, nigga, with all the beer bottles around, you there cleaning that shit up. You understand what I'm saying? At least contribute in some kind of way. But now you got motherfuckers thinking that they entitled to have lives of luxury and shit without doing anything. I remember, man, like not too long ago, like Destiny's Child like came out and was singing the song, I'm Gonna Cater to You. Like, I don't know what city it was in. It might have been in some city, I don't know where it was, but they was getting booed and shit for singing I'm Gonna Cater to My Man. How? But they praising motherfuckers for wet ass pussy. How, bruh? How is that gonna work? At the end of the day, how can we sustain black reproduction? And even like right now, you got a trend where guys are turning into fucking bitches. It's fucked up out here, man. Niggas is cutting their nuts off voluntarily, bro. They cutting their dicks off because they feel like life as a woman is easier and better.
Hey, brother GG. Hey, man, I hate to get off this discussion, brother. But I do got some other obligations I gotta tend to, brother.
I know you do, bro, and I thank you for coming.
Man, I appreciate you having me, brother. I hope you have me back. I appreciate all the dialogue with the brothers. Shoot, I thank you.
Loco. You gotta
yes,
come
sir.
back. Yeah, that nationalist perspective is interesting, considering what's happening and what's going on, man. It's interesting. Your strength, man, to hold on in these times,
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, brother. And y'all, we need y'all too. We cannot do this without each other, man. That's just my opinion, brother. But y'all have a good night, brother. GG, we'll talk, brother.
Shout out to you, bro, man. Rude to you, dog.
All right, rude, dog.
Peace.
Peace.
So look, I done talked this to a damn to a standstill, man. I only expected to do this for like about an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know why this shit be lasting so long, man. If you enjoy the show, man, please support the Green Gorilla channel, man. You can cash at me, hit me up with a super chat. Hit me up on PayPal, man. Also, man, please, man, like, share, subscribe to the channel. You feel me? So anyway, man, what we did today was, just went over some issues, man, and had a few conversations, bro. We don't, this brother here don't even, like, fuck with the manosphere. He's not in this space. But he, one thing I can say is, man, black men all over the country understand that there is an issue and there's a problem, man, with agreement and cooperation and with, being reciprocitous amongst black folks. We can all agree with that. It's something awry, okay? So, at any rate, man, much love to y'all, man. I'll catch you on the next one. I think the next time I'll be back, it'll probably be Monday, and I'm going to be on that ghetto shit again. I'll holler at y'all later, man. One.